Okay, wait. Wait. How do you... Alright, hello. How do you... Alright, this is the first time... technically it's the second time, but the first time was me streaming OS like years ago when this channel had like nobody watching it, so it didn't matter. How the hell do I link to my stream? I'm trying to write the tweet. Where do I get the link to the stream? You would think it'd be like right here on the streamer dashboard setup. No, I don't want to exit the stream. I don't want to exit the stream at all. Not at all. Not in any way, shape, or form. Okay. Wait, where'd the pop-out chat go? Okay, is there a way for me to get like another pop-out chat? Oh no. Okay, how do I get to my own stream? Okay, I'm on my channel. I'm live, right? People can like see this? I mean, I don't know if anybody's in here, but I physically cannot tell if I'm live. I look on my YouTube channel, and it doesn't show I'm live on the actual channel. So... yeah, this is fun. This is, going to be an experience. How do I... Alright, I'm just gonna mute while I figure this out. Wait a minute, I might not even be live. I might not be live, because it says it's set to private. People might not physically be able to see this. Ah, shit. Let's try changing that. Okay, maybe now people can see the stream. Maybe now it's a thing. Okay, yeah, now it's visible. Well, that goes to show how used to YouTube streaming I am. Yeah. As it turns out, you can actually have a private stream, which means physically nobody can see you. I mean, I guess you could run a test stream doing that. Now that I think that sounds pretty cool, but didn't even realize. So, yeah, now though, now you should be able to see it. And more importantly, I have a link that I can post on the Twitter. Because that was the whole point of figuring that out. Welcome to my first time in like ages streaming on YouTube, I guess. Does Discord like show you as streaming on YouTube? Is that a thing that it does, or does Discord not do that? Oh boy. Now hold on. Give me a second. Alright, the stream is already a little scuffed. Depending on how well it went, I might have just left it on the channel, but considering how this is going, I'm gonna have to edit it. before it goes on the channel officially. Just you know, just a little bit. Let me pop out the chat here. There you go. Now I'll actually be able to read messages that show up, if any. If any. Alright, I've tweeted it out. Put it in the Discord as well. And then I think we'll just get started because I think we're ready. All right. Welcome, gamers, believers, weebs, and everything in between. This is it. This is going to be the definitive tier list of all of anime this year. All of it. Every single one of them. I have seen the first episodes of all 112 of these, and we will be judging them. And this tier list I made. You can make your own tier list as well. Do your own little judgment of these shows. I put a link to it in the description. So you can do that. Send it my way. Show me how wrong my takes are. You could do that, but my takes aren't wrong. Seldom are they. Just like every other anime boy out there, I got heated opinions. And usually, if you're against these opinions, you're just wrong. That's just how it goes on the internet. That's how it goes. So, let me show you what we're working with here. How do I... There we go. Here it is. All 112 from this year. Now, when I say all, there's a little asterisk next to that with a little note, a little footnote, okay? There are a few exceptions. There are a few shows not on here. Namely, a lot of popular sequels of shows I haven't watched, which is the big stipulation there, okay? I've never seen Food Wars or anything like that, so you're not going to see any sequels of popular shows I have not seen yet on here. But I have watched everything that's new this year, which is the big bulk of this list, and a few of the big returning names are on here. How's it going, Erica? How's it going? So, You got 112 anime here. And this is going to be the list to decide it all. This will be the ultimate. Some of these shows you probably have never have heard of. Some of them you'll wish you never heard of. Some of them you'll never want to hear about again. And some of them you'll have sadly also heard of and suffered through. This year has been heavily... Before I start this, I just want to stipulate, okay? This year, anime production quality has obviously been heavily impacted by coronavirus. It's been a huge, huge factor of this in many ways. The first of which is just from a number standpoint. This year, we got Andy chart, okay? I want you to look at this. This is 2020. 99, 83, 52, 65. See that drop there? Usually it's like 100 fucking every season. 100 every season. Now we dropped by half here. Damn. Even like before, you know, we're starting to lose them here. They're getting delayed. Like a lot of the shows are getting delayed out. And next season, though, the upcoming season, is stacked with massive sequels to big shows. Absolutely stacked. You got Attack on Titan final season, which I believe already started the other day. Promised Neverland, Dr. Stone Stone Wars, Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, ReZero, Quintessential Quintuplet, Cells at Work, Beastars, Seven Deadly Sins, Yuru Camp, some other Cells at Work, like, side story thing. And then you have all the original stuff, too. And even some of the originals, for what I've seen so far, look really, really good. Or they're from, like, really popular series already. Like, Horimiya, apparently, is already really, really popular. So, next season is stacked. I don't know if that's a result of everything getting delayed. Or what, but, like, you can just see, like, this is the year that was heavily affected by a pandemic. This is what the anime industry looks like when a pandemic is currently happening. Okay? Now, whether or not that actually affected the quality of the anime productions that came out, I can't exactly say because I don't know when some of these shows were actually, like, completed. I know there were some cases that I had heard about where, like, stuff like ReZero, after, like, the first few episodes, the rest of the ReZero Season 2 was all animated from, like, home or remotely or something like that. I've not seen that far into ReZero Season 2 to be able to judge that animation quality, see how that looks, but I haven't heard anybody outright complaining about it, so that's always a good thing. I think from what I heard, they were pretty much saying it pretty much held up. So, let's stop delaying. Let's just get right into it. Wait, hold on, wait. I don't know if I'm actually seeing all the messages. Okay, I think I am. Okay. I hate that YouTube... I don't know if there's a way for me to change it. But, like, by default, I think it sets it to live chat. Or not live. It says it's a top chat. And not live chat. And that, I guess, can sometimes hide messages. I don't know if that's happening here. I don't know if anybody's even watching this. I had that one person show up earlier, but I don't know if anybody's actually in the chat here, but... We're just gonna get started right here. Let me turn the music down a smidge. As far as I know, this music won't get me in trouble on YouTube, but we'll find out when the stream ends. When the stream ends, when the dust settles, and we'll see whether or not I get 1 million copyright notifications from YouTube, which happened at the end of the not Danganronpa. I'm thinking that because of the song playing. The end of my OS stream, which is the only other YouTube stream I ever attempted before. So, this is going to be fun. We're going to see how this goes. We're going to get right into it. I do have Andy chart open in case I do need to, like, look over, like, what the image is. Because some of these I barely recognize from the image. I think most of them I do. But there was like a couple where it's like I wasn't exactly sure. So we'll just in case we got it on here, and we can also consult this to see what's the most popular for that season in general. You know, how's it going, Ralph? Ready to rank some anime? Because we're gonna get started here. Komataji-san, I believe that was this one's name. This one was shorts of an old couple, and he kept making like grandpa jokes. I think I thought of it as like the grandpa joke kind of show, where it's like dad jokes, but they're all just about him like reminding his wife that he loves him every day. That's pretty much the show. It was cute. There's not much to it, and some of the jokes were really like, but like it was a fun time. I'd probably give it like a C. That's like a softball we got to start here. We got another one here too. This one was Fushi something something. It was like mystery candy shop. It was kind of like monkey paw kind of stories, where like these kids find this mysterious candy shop, and they are pretty much like granted a wish that they want through like a candy that they eat at the shop. But they learn like a lesson from eating the candy, like, hey, maybe you don't actually want this thing, or they learn some other lesson about themselves. It's a nice little thing. I watched like, I think 2 episodes of it that I could actually find. I couldn't find the rest of it. I don't know if the rest of it even aired. This got delayed, and then I think it got delayed again mid-season. So I don't even know if this ever got finished anywhere. But the one site I found it on, I watched like 2 episodes of. And those 2 episodes were fine. Again, I'd give it a C. Like, C is where we're probably going to see, like... the C and the D is probably going to get filled, maybe. We're going to have, like, a couple S's, a few A's, but, like, mostly C's and D's from me, probably. There's not going to be that many that I don't remember, but we'll see. I think maybe this might be one, but... This one was, I believe, Woodpecker Detective Agency. And this one was like a detective who's like very poetic. And I think it had like boys love vibes with it. But I just remembered thinking that the actual detective work that he was trying to do for the case that they started on, where he just like convinced their like number 1 suspect to just let them into the house, I believe. And then I think it was something like he framed him for something in the house. I forget, but it was like he turned out to be the one who did it, but they like faked evidence for it. I don't remember. All I do remember was like not really caring for anything that was happening with this. Like, the thing I mostly feel like I should care about with these detective shows is the actual cases they work on and the logic they use to solve the case. But in the first case, at least, he, like, I think just convinced him to let him into his house and then, like, faked evidence or something like that. I don't exactly remember. But I just remember not caring. I didn't, like, absolutely hate it, but, This one was Obunaga Inu or whatever. It was like some Japanese warlord brought back as like a dog, and all of his like other warriors that he knew at the time were also brought back as dogs. This was funny as shit for like the first couple episodes, and then I didn't really go back to it. I remember the ending of this one had live action footage of like very like similar looking to the dog like characters in the show. They had like, you know, live action footage of these dogs running around. And it was like an awesome ending. I remember that. I don't know. See? Tonikawa Over the Moon for You. This is one that's airing right now. I've seen the first episode of, and I intend to watch more. But with its start, I wouldn't exactly give it an A. But I wouldn't give it a C, so I'd give it a B. Yes, I have seen Tonikawa. So I've seen the first episode of it, and I intend to watch more, but at least from its first episode, I get the premise. I like it. I feel like I'm going to like it more. I feel like once I keep watching it, I might bump it up to an A, but right now I pretty much feel like I gotta leave it at a B for what I've seen so far. Because, like, the first episode, they meet, and the premise is, like, these two people who don't know each other just meet each other on the street one day. He, like, walks into traffic, gets hit by a car, but, like, she saves him or whatever, and before he passes out, he, like, oh, by the way, he gets hit by the truck because he sees her across the street, walks into traffic, so he's already, like, simping for her, and then he gets hit by the truck, but, like, she protects him or something like that, and then he basically asks her out, and she says, well, you have to marry me if we do go out. And he's like, okay, and then he passes out. And then, like, I think he doesn't see her for a while until they both turned 18, and then she shows up at his door, is like, okay, we're married now, let's go to the marriage place. And it's like, it seems like there's going to be really funny, cute times with it, but I don't know, based on the episode 1, I'd have to wait and see. So I'd leave it at a B just from that standpoint. Like, I did like it, and I am going to watch more. But we'll see. This one, so I don't remember too much about this one. I don't even remember its name, but I remembered it looking like, I couldn't believe that this was listed on, like, any anime database as, like, an official show. I couldn't believe, like, if this actually aired anywhere. Because it looked like some, like, Newgrounds Flash thing. I don't remember. I don't know if I should bring it up because we're on YouTube here. I'm used to streaming on Twitch. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for watching an episode of whatever the fuck this is, because these are also, like, shorts, and they were, like, dumb looking Newgrounds animation things. I just so, like, I don't remember most of it, but I remembered hating it. So I'm not exactly sure if I should put in don't remember, but I feel like it's safe to put in an F. Akudama Drive is probably, like, the first of all the ones. This is my currently watching list. And of the ones that survived this season, Akudama Drive was the first one I watched everything of. I'm caught up with that now until tomorrow. Jujutsu Kaisen was one I started today, and that's going really, really good. Akudama Drive, really, really fun premise, really nice aesthetic going on with it. Really cool cast of characters. The plot isn't very, like, amazing though. And, like, the like, it's a fun time, but it's not, like, exactly S material. Not, like, quite. I mean, it still has a couple episodes to convince me, I guess, but where it's leaning at now, like 9 episodes in, I give it, like, a, what did I give it here? I gave it a 7. See, here's the difficulty. It really puts in perspective when you're doing a tier list here, okay? I liked it more than Tonikawa, but I don't know. All right, we'll leave it at A. I say we leave it at A. I might rearrange stuff. We'll leave it at A. Burn the Witch. Fucking amazing, amazing looking art, animation. Every character in this show, I think it was technically a film, but I watched on Crunchyroll where it was split up into 3 episodes. Every character in this anime is amazing. I loved all of them. And it felt like there's, like, a whole world that's about to open up with this, and I want a full-length show about this. I want so much more about this. From what I hear, it's related to Bleach. I don't know anything about Bleach. I've never watched Bleach, and I don't even know really anything about the Bleach plot. But a friend I was watching it with at the time mentioned, like, a huge connection towards the end that implied that it was, like, a big, big role in the Bleach universe. So I was like, okay. I mean, I don't really know anything about that. I just know that this was a really, really good movie. But I think there was something about it that I didn't exactly quite care for. I forget what, like, some of the rules of the land and how, like, it worked with, like, some of these characters. Maybe it's just because I wanted it to be more expanded on in a full-length show, And then I probably would have given it an S because it would have had the amount of time to fully like stretch out and build up everything that's laid the groundwork for. As it is right now, like there's a lot of cool scenes, but there's a lot of stuff that's like left to be desired, I guess, with it. We'll show us that in A tier. Akudama Drive is this one, and then Burn the Witch is this one. I don't actually know how much the delay is on YouTube streaming, so I don't know when. I read that message as soon as it popped up, so I don't know when you're actually going to hear my response, but this is Akudama Drive, and this is Burn the Witch. Burn the Witch is like 3 episodes, because it's like technically a movie, but on Crunchyroll it's listed as 3 episodes. Really, really good. Both of these aired this season. Next you have Ninja something? Fuck, what was this one? This is from like fall. Fuck, what was this called? No, this wasn't from fall. This is from summer. Like Ninja Collection. Ninja Collection. So I watched, I think, like half of this. They're like another one of those, I think it was like 3-minute shorts. And it was this collection of stories where a creepy thing happens to a character who's telling a story about a creepy thing that happened to them or is experiencing something creepy at the time. And then it fades to black on a horrific moment, and then they wake up and everything's normal. And you see, like, for like a couple frames, like the ninja who saved them in secret. And it's like supposed to be like, oh, there's some secret ninja group that's secretly saving everybody from these weird spirits and demons and whatever. That's like giving them horrific nightmares, but they just wake up as if it was a dream and nothing really happened. And I didn't care for anything. It kept me interested for a couple episodes until I realized this was all we were going to be doing. Because like some of the stories that they had, like the horror stories with it, I was into. Like the creepy way they presented them, I was into it. But then when the premise for the entire thing, I thought it was going to be like for the first couple, and then they were going to like get into something else with like these characters. And maybe it does towards the very, very end, but as far as I got into it, that was all I really did. You show a spooky story, fade to black, they wake up as if nothing happens, and turns out, oh, what's this? A ninja saved them in secret. You don't have, I don't remember you ever seeing what the ninja does to save them. I don't think they ever show that. And it was a very cheap looking show too, so you could tell they didn't really want to go crazy with the animation of that. So, I don't know. This was Plunderer, and I think this one had to do with like a world where everybody had numbers, and each person's number was. Let me just check to make sure about this, because I might be talking about a completely different show. But I believe this one was everybody had a number on their body, and they gained or lost that number depending on random factors assigned to them, like at birth or something. And I think it controlled how much power you had. Plunderer. Yes, this is the one I was thinking of. Everyone has a count on their body. And the count either goes up or down depending on how they live their life. There was like a character. Have I seen episode 1 of Attack on Titan season 4? No. I watched Attack on Titan season 1 and then like the first couple episodes of season 2. And I didn't really continue it after that. I think my brother still watches it, and I know a bunch of my friends still do. But I just lost interest after the first couple things. It's just not really my thing. I understand the appeal of it. It's just not really my thing. Plunder. So you're not going to see any Attack on Titan on here, by the way, because I'm ranking every anime except for like sequels of stuff I haven't seen, because obviously I wouldn't have watched those this year, I guess. So that's the only real stipulation of shows that aren't going to be listed here. Stuff like Attack on Titan and like Food Wars and all that. You're not going to see like season 2s of those because I haven't seen the season 1s of those and stuff like that. And I didn't feel like watching everything's episode, season ones, just to get caught up to watch that or whatever for some of these shows, but maybe in the future. Plunderer, though, the count thing was interesting. Some people really got screwed over with life, with like being born with one person, like a waitress, she got a point up on her count every time somebody complimented her food, and a point down every time somebody didn't like her food or something like that. Like that kind of shit can happen. Is Seven Deadly Sins there? No, I don't think so. I'm pretty, because I watched like the first couple episodes of season 1 of Seven Deadly Sins, so the newest seasons wouldn't be on here. Because I'm pretty sure Seven Deadly Sins came out like, what, 3 years ago, the first one? I forget. It's been a while. Plunderer gets... It had like some fighting towards the end where it's like this big bad guy like tried to abuse this woman. I think I forget if he tried to rape her or not. It got pretty fucked up towards the end of the episode, and then main character Kun, who everybody thought had he had like a 0 count or something, turned out like he like is glitching the system and he's got like a crazy high count, but like he's hiding it or something like that. I don't know. The idea kind of might be interesting, but I remembered I didn't really care for how they were executing it. So I guess I would put that on a D. What anime am I most anticipating for 2020? That is a great question. Most of the ones that I'm anticipating are coming out like next season. Next season is stacked. I think the one I'm probably most excited for, or I guess it's hard to choose. I'm excited for Beastars, Quintessential Quintuplets, and Stone Wars. Those are ones I'm oh, actually, and Slime. Okay, drop Quintessential Quintuplets because I know it's going to be meh, but it'll be a fun time, but a meh fun time. Beastars, Slime, and Stone Wars. Those are ones I'm really, really excited for. Oh, is Rent a Girlfriend Season 2 coming out next year? Ooh, that'd be good. Promised Neverland Season 2. So my thoughts with Promised Neverland was I really liked the premise and how it began, and I just kind of got upset that it took them forever with like moving the story forward with it. Like I still liked it. I just wished it was like quicker for them to like move through some of the shit going on, I guess, with it. But it was still good. Pet was like some psychological, really cool looking show. And I remembered it being very mind-bendy and kind of similar to some like Satoshi Kon kind of stuff that I've seen. But recently I watched Paprika, and that was really weird. And I feel like I didn't actually watch anything I could understand, and I'm going to have to rewatch it like 5 times to actually understand maybe what was happening. It gave me that kind of vibe, but like I could understand more of what was going on with this, so that was enjoyable. Oh man, I wish I watched more of it at the time, because I feel like it might have gone to S tier if it went really, really well. But it also very much could have just dropped the ball at everything and gone all the way down to like a C, for all I know. I'll put an A here. This one was Orphan Stabber something. There was a dragon. Some person was cursed into turning into a dragon, and main character Kun had to go fight him, and I didn't care. I just didn't care. I don't know if this is based on an older anime or something. I just didn't care. But this one though, what was this called? I remembered this show. I liked this show. Boku something. What is this show called? Did I air it the first season? Yes, this one. If my favorite pop idol made it into the Budokan, I would die. This is about... idol fans. Specifically, it's about a female idol fan who has an obsession with this one idol girl. And she's one of those big fans of her, one of the crazy fans, but she's not like one of those like creepy like fat dude bros that like wait in line to buy like all 50 copies or of her like CDs or singles or whatever, or like pay $100 to like shake her hand with like a sweaty like fat dude hand or whatever. It gives you the perspective of this is like a normal office girl, I think, who like gets so obsessed with her after seeing them perform at like in like a public space at one point that I think she pretty much quits her job just to obsess over her like casually, and she becomes like the number one like person obsessing over her. This one I definitely feel like if I watched more of, because I think I watched like 3 episodes maybe of this. If I watched more, that would probably be an S, I feel like. Because that one was going really, really well. I think there was some moments that made me feel uncomfortable, but I don't remember it being her. I remember it being like some of the other side characters that were there. My Next Life as a Villainess, I'd give that a B. I was really hyped for this at the beginning. Really, really hyped for this. And I still had a good time for most of it. But here was the problem, okay? So she's stuck in her favorite Otome game as the villainess. And she knows she has to, like, do something so that her character doesn't die or get exiled forever or something like that. She doesn't want to die in this game. She wants to have, like, a good ending. But she knows her character is doomed for failure. So she's trying to, like, figure out some way to game the system because she understands and has memorized the entire game already because it's her favorite game. And that's a really cool premise, and they follow it for like the first like 4 or 5 episodes, and then they drop all that. They just ignore all that, and it becomes just a slice of life, hang out with the boy harem and have a nice like tea time with all them. And it's like that was still a fun time. It still looked nice, but I wanted her to like keep going with the all routes lead to doom thing, and it didn't really feel like that was happening. And I think towards the end of the season they pretty much like made it clear that she was at a good end. But like there's a season 2. There was a season 2 announced at like during the premiere of the finale. So I have no idea what's going on with that. I just don't know. This was A Destructive God Sits Next to Me. Have you seen The Day I Became God? I did. That's on here, and we'll talk about that. That's a good one from this season. That one I really like. But this one is A Destructive God Sits Next to Me. And this one was like cute boys hanging out and being chinyobis. Is that the term? Is that how you say the term? Where like they basically just have these weird delusional fantasies and just have fun, even though they should be just studying in school or whatever. I remember it being kind of fun, but I remember like hating some parts of it and being like annoyed and felt like it was wasting my time through most of it. So I don't know, see? I don't remember the name of this, but this is like an idol show where they established that in their like idol academy, you were ranked based on your grades, and the ranks determined your social status at the school. Those are called crackheads, the chinyobis. Yeah, that's probably about right for that show. But yeah, so here it was like their grades decide their social status, and if like I think it was like if one member of your group flunked, you all flunked. And like she joins up with this one group, I think, and she's just hard hated by everybody instantly because of it. So I felt like it had some interesting stuff that could happen. I didn't watch more of it yet, so I wonder if it ever does. I think I put it on my on hold, so it might be something I potentially check out. But I remember not really having faith in it, so I'd put it there. By the way, how's it going, Zari? I see you. I see you, Zari. Darwin's Game. You know me. You know I like me a good old-fashioned death game anime. Okay? I like them. I'm considering making a video about them in the future. Could be an interesting thing. Here, though, Darwin's Game, not that great. In my opinion, at least. At first, it felt like a ripoff of Mariah Nikki. Or no, I remember. First, we thought it was going to be a ripoff of King's Game, which was another death game anime that was like really gory and shit and fucking awful. Absolutely awful. And then it turned out to just be a ripoff, like bootleg Mariah Nikki kind of deal. And I don't know if it actually followed that path, but oh man. I guess I'd give it a C just because I think I remembered a lot of the animation of like the fighting scenes looking really nice. But like, man, oh man, that disappointed. Why do all my death game animes disappoint me? Why do you have to have good premises and then disappoint? Let's talk about this cool thing though. Let's talk about Dorohedoro. Which I am mad at myself for only watching one episode. I keep meaning to go back and watch more. I just haven't yet. This was a really, really good show. I really like Dorohedoro, especially the opening, the awesome, like, gritty, like dirty, gritty version of magic and its effect on this world kind of scenario. Like, I liked that. Like, the mages are just experimenting on people and just don't care at all what happens to the people that they just do these horrible experiments on. That's cool. That was, like, awesome. You have this, like, lizard dude with, like, the cursed person inside of him, and, like, they keep, like, shoving people's bodies inside of his, like, mouth to, like, check with the person inside of him if, like, they're the person who can turn him back to normal or something like that. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then he goes to, like, some restaurant with this crazy looking awesome girl who is just cooking up a storm for him. And I think someone's face got ripped off in the first episode. Like, by accident. You just accidentally rip off someone's face. That happens. My only S tier for 2020 so far is Tonikawa because I smile for all 20 minutes. Personally, it does its job perfectly. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I definitely feel like it will put more smiles on my face once I actually sit down and watch more episodes. Once I actually do that, I'm sure I'll bump it up. Let's talk about this one. Let's talk about Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex 2045. That's what this show is. Now, here's the thing about this. Here's the thing about Ghost in the Shell, okay? I've seen the original movie. I've seen the live-action movie, which was horrible. I played some game that was pretty fun, but I've never actually seen Standalone Complex. But I watched this, because I was pretty sure that you didn't have to watch Standalone Complex to watch this. I might have missed, like, some key things, I guess, that they might have referenced, but, like, I think this was supposed to be its own standalone kind of show. And the main thing about this that made everybody very upset was how it looked. Because how it looked was, like, Ghost in the Shell SAC 945. It looked like PS2 kind of graphics. It looked like this. This is what it looked like. And naturally, people got upset with it. I thought it made a lot of the scenes look, like, way better in this kind of style. I thought they did really well with it in some scenes. Like, some of the action scenes look kind of wonky. But when they're not, like, in action kind of scenes, they made it work really well for me. And story-wise, though, there was a lot of really interesting concepts. So the big main driving force of the show, which is something I want to look into more and, like, theorize, like, how it would have worked, kind of similar to, like, my anime series on here, my anime science series, I mean. But this one would have to deal with, like, money, I guess, because The main thing about this, and you know this immediately from the opening song of this, is Salem Comics 2045 is all about economic impact of like digitized money and like making money off of war. Because like they get to a point in their future where they realize we can make money off of war and we're going to industrialize war as like a thing that's always occurring so that we're always going to be making money from just being in a constant state of war was how it sounded like. And this seemed great at first, but naturally it had like devolved into nations that wanted more money, and eventually it like was going to lead to the end of the world. But then there was like a global default and all cryptocurrency disappeared and money became like valueless. I get it became like nothing everywhere because some rogue AI. This is all explained in like the first couple seconds of the show, by the way. These aren't big spoilers. These were like all explained in like the first couple seconds in like a couple subtitles that appeared. So like you're watching the aftermath of years later where this world has been fucked economically for years and we still have these like annoying wars going on just because years ago we thought like just being in a constant state of war would drive up the economy. Turns out it didn't, and we had a big global default. So you have like everybody fucked over and being upset by being fucked over by the economy. You got like old people in banks that who like kept their money in the bank because they thought it'd be safe, and now they realize, hey, all that money I have in there, like I can still access the money in there, but it's worth nothing now. So it doesn't matter anyways. All that money I've been saving up over this years, it's just gone because of everybody else that wanted to screw me over. Like that kind of stuff. And you got like episodes that like focus on that. It mainly focuses on them looking into a series of incidents with some terrorists that are looking to... No, it wasn't terrorists. It was like AIs were taking over people and like becoming sentient. People were just randomly becoming sentient AIs, I think, was like the main thing. They would get infected by this AI, and then they would become like this sentient AI that is interconnected with all of the others that are active, and they have like super calculation of like a million things and have like this grand plot that they already have calculated in their head, and they do like crazy stuff with it. There was a lot that I could say about the show, and it's at a point where I think I'd want to make a video about it. I think the main thing about it is, one, the visuals, like I said, they look nice in some scenes, but like during the fights they look really awkward, and some of the episodes really ham-fisted the messages they were trying to like portray. So I was like, I give it a B though. Give it a B. What is this one? This one is something Fifth Son. It was like somebody was reincarnated as like, I think the fifth son in there. Oh no, was it the eighth son? It was reincarnated as like the eighth son of like a noble household or something like that. Fuck. What was this one? Where are you? It wasn't a short. I don't think it was a short. Spring? Yeah, the eighth son. Are you kidding me? That was it. Okay. Yeah, he was reincarnated into like a noble family, and he was like, oh, I'm gonna be rich now because I just got born as, you know, into the rich family. Easy clap, boys. Easy clap. Turns out he's the eighth son in the family, so he's not going to inherit the wealth in a while. And even the wealth they do have, they don't have much of it, as it turns out. The first episode, like most of the first episodes, he's kind of tricked into thinking he does at first, because they hold a very fancy wedding reception for one of the sons that's getting married to another noble house who is very wealthy. So they want to like present themselves really, really well for them. And they're probably also helping to pay for this occasion as well. Then the next day they're eating like soup at breakfast or something like that. They're eating something like really cheap. And it hits him that their family is actually like the lowest of the nobles, kind of. And he's the eighth son of the lowest of the nobles. So he's going to have to like make his own thing for himself in this world. And I think he like started reading a lot of books, which was a thing that like nobody in their family actually knew how to do, because this was back, he got reincarnated in one of those like fantasy times where like a lot of the lesser off families just never learned how to read, because that was like a rich man's kind of thing. But he already knew how to read from his past life, so he's like learning a lot from reading, and I think he was gonna like have access to magic through that and then make a ton of money through that, I think was his plan. I remembered wanting to check out more, but I didn't. We'll give that a B. Bofuri. I maxed out my defense stats. Cute little thing. From what I saw, it was really, like, nice. I don't think it's gonna get past being just nice. Don't think it's ever gonna become more than just nice. I give that a B. It's a funny little thing. But I don't feel like it would last that long for me. For like 12 episodes. Nekopara. This is awful. This is fucking awful. I think there was like one scene, like a couple scenes I liked. But the Nekopara like OVA thing or anime or whatever. I didn't realize this one had lyrics or whatever. I don't want lyrics on my shit. Okay. I don't need other people talking. I can talk myself, okay? Oh man, I'm trying to remember the title. It felt like a light novel title, but Science fell in love, so I tried to prove it. That was it. I cracked the code. This was a fun time. I remembered having to like pause a bunch of the first episode to like get some of the other jokes though, because some of the jokes like showed up on like big charts on the screen for like a couple seconds, and there was like a lot of details on them with a lot of really nice other jokes with them too. I didn't watch more of it, but I will. But I remembered like that whole thing where like a lot of the jokes like required you to stop the video and check it out. So that's why I was like, I don't really know if this would be an S and if I immediately need to check more out. So, you like Gleipnir? I did too. That one's going to be coming up soon. I liked Gleipnir. I'll get into that once we get there. We're almost there. We're almost there. Inspector. This was a Crunchyroll original, I remember. It was one of the, like, it was at the time where they first had Crunchyroll originals that they were really trying to push out there. And it's like, hey guys, we got Crunchyroll originals now. And this is Inspector. I don't know if they actually got involved with like the funding of it directly for that, or if it was one of the ones where they just bought the license for later on and they just called it an original or something. I remember watching like 2 episodes of this and liking like a couple things from it, but not anything more. I liked it visually, and I liked the like character interactions they had in most of the scenes, but the general premise of what was going on in that show, where what was it? It was something like he could see some capybara and it turned out he was like a bad guy or whatever, but he was helping her fight some spirits, and I didn't care. that goes to show. This was Infinite Dendrogram. I think that was the title. So it's all about this. I think this game world where limitless possibilities can happen with these quests that you can do. And I think it was like the first quest seemed like just a simple fetch quest, and it turned out to be a crazy monster thing. There's supposed to be infinite possibilities for it. I think there was a quirky like animal avatar character person that was in it. Didn't care. Didn't care. Don't know why people cared. This seemed like a show that a lot of people were talking about. I didn't give a fuck. The one thing that I've realized this year that I give zero fucks about, okay, is anime where they're literally just playing a game and LARPing. Because that's all this is. They're just playing a game and LARPing. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. If you want to go have fun and make believe with like NPC characters in this world that I know isn't real, great. Usually I won't care unless it's like a cute little thing. And even then, they gotta try hard to like convince me to stay watching. I don't care for fucking LARPing bullshit. Princess Reconnect? Was that what this was called? This was a nice looking show. Very, very nice looking. Surprisingly, like, really funny. I didn't expect it. I know this is based on some game. I forget if it's a gacha game or just like a visual novel or something, but it looked really nice. The characters were fun. The first episode, I got vibes of Konosuba. It'd be a stretch to call it actually on the same level as Konosuba, but I got vibes of Konosuba with it. So I definitely put it at B. Koisuru Asteroid. From the same... I recognized it right away, the art style. I knew it. They're from the same studio that made a new game. Doga whatever. Doga something. I can't remember the name of the... Was it like Doga Kobo? Comfy little show. You got two clubs that have to merge into one. One of them is the astrology club, and one is the like earth science or mineral club, and together they become like the earth sciences club or something like that. And it was a whole like cute girls doing like sciencey club things, and I remembered it being really cozy. I liked the art, but I wasn't really compelled enough to keep going immediately, you know? So it's like, because like, I don't know. With the astronomy stuff, I probably, if it was just astronomy, I probably would have watched it more. When you added like random mineral stuff too, or whatever, just observing like the earth in general, like, that's like a subject I'm kind of less interested in, but I don't know. It's something maybe I'll have to try a few more episodes to actually see, but it'll probably either stay at B or more realistically, it would drop down to a C. Honestly, I should drop down to a C. I'll drop it down to a C. Okay? You convinced me, chat. By chat, I mean myself. Don't worry. The definitive list is coming together. There's no S's yet, though. No S's. Honestly, some of that is just because a lot of these shows I just haven't finished. I don't think I finished any of these shows. Except, oh no, I finished Standalone Compact. I finished Standalone. I finished Villainess, and I finished Burn the Witch. I finished these three. I haven't finished Akudama Drive. I'm caught up with it though. I don't feel like it's going to be an S. I don't feel like it's going to be an S. Honestly, sometimes I feel like it's a B. But I'll leave it at an A for now, for most of the time. Gleipnir, though, was fucking awesome. That first, like, again, this is another one of those cases. Only watched the first episode. Meant to watch more. Really, really meant to watch more. Here's what I remembered sticking out to me. The characters looked awesome. The premise, like, stuck with me. And the music right towards the end in that final fight scene, that music stuck with me. That music sounded fucking awesome. And I wanted way more of that. I didn't even care if, like, everything else was bad. I wanted way more of that. So Gleipnir. Good shit. But, something dragons or whatever. It was like girls and blimps fighting dragons. I don't even remember if it was just girls. I think there was just like a couple main girl characters, but like they're like fighting dragons in the sky or something like that. Was that this one or was that a different one? I think that was this one, and I remember not caring about the whole thing. I think it looked nice, so I'd give it that. Toilet Bound Hanako-san. Nice little aesthetic with it. Fun first episode. I think I watched 2 episodes actually, or maybe 3. It was a little fun thing. It was a fun little thing. I didn't think it was amazing though, but it was fun. It was funny. What is this one? Oh, was this Somali? Somali was so fucking boring. Why did people like Somali? It was like Somali something forest. Somali and the Forest Spirit. This was so fucking boring. I was bored to fucking tears. Why the fuck did people like this? There was nothing interesting about this. I hated everything. I feel like I need to rearrange some of these. Well, we're getting through. We're getting through. Is this playing? I don't hear anything. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting through it. Slow and steady. Number 24? I think was this one? This is a rugby thing. I've never cared for rugby. And I especially didn't care for it here. There was 2 rugby anime I remember watching around the same time. There was Try Nights, some other one, and then I think this aired like a couple like months later. I just remember like rugby anime was a thing I'd seen episodes of, and I've always hated them. I don't think there was a single rugby anime I've ever liked or ever will like. I don't care. And most of that is probably because I'm not the target audience for these shows. They make them for people that like shipping boys. They like the boys love shipping. ReZero Season 2. Fucking fantastic. Fantastic. It might end up going into S. If I had watched more than like 5 episodes. It was definitely up there. It was definitely really, really great. So I think what I'm going to do with this list, because obviously like when you're looking at this, there's stuff going on where most of these I only watched the first episodes of. So I don't really know like if I'd quite say it's an S yet or something like that. You know, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these and then I'm going to like bump some up or down depending on like what I would just give it by what I've seen of it so far. Does that sound fair? So like for right now, I'll do like, I'm doing it based on like how I think the show is going to be overall. And then I like bump it around based on like how I felt based on the few episodes or 1 episode that I watched. We'll do it like that. I haven't done this kind of thing before, so we're just going to do it like that. Drop out a fruit tart. A bunch of no-name entertainers start a streamer home, and they have fun with it. That's one that I'm going to be watching this season, but I'll give it a B right now. Oh, fishing girls doing fishing things. Cute girls doing fishing things. I give it a C. It was like, something. I don't remember. They made like an actual fishing pamphlet based on this. I remember we wrote an article about that on Jitaku. Sing Yesterday for me. Really, really nice based on the first episode. Really, really fun little... Well, I say fun. I think there was like a lot of funny scenes, but I think towards the end it like got more grounded and serious, and I liked that about it. But I think I remember there was like funny moments like towards the beginning. But like overall, I had a good time with it. That's what I'm trying to say. Adachi and Shimamura. What did I give this on here? Yeah, like a 6. Yeah, that sounds about right. This was like very nice looking. They have a very like comfy, cozy relationship together. It's these two delinquent girls skipping classes and like hanging out and discovering more about each other. But there was a lot of like emotional like tones going on with like, I forget who has which name, but there was one girl who pretty much has no friends except for this other girl, and the other girl though has like quite a few like friends that she'll just hang out with regularly, and the girl with no friends like seems like she has some kind of dark, depressing like life going on, or like some emotional barriers going on with her personal life that the other girl is trying to like peek through and like make her feel better about by like spending time with her. That's the impression I got based on the first episode. It might just go in a completely different direction, but that's how it felt for me. It's a nice little thing. I think a lot of the scenes were kind of stretched though. There was a lot of like dead kind of air in some scenes, it felt like for me. So I wouldn't exactly give it an A from the first episode, but I feel like it's the kind of show that if I watch all the way through and it turns out to be how I'm thinking it's going to be, it might turn out to be like an A and potentially even an S. Potentially. Well, you know, it all depends. The emotional roller coaster we go on. Aizuken. Keep your hands off Aizuken. This was a very, very creative and inspiring kind of thing for me. Not even just... So this was like an animation club. They make their own animation club as opposed to an anime club, because the school had an anime club, but it wasn't about making anime. I think they said that club mostly just watched anime, which tends to be how a lot of anime clubs go in real life too. But this is about, they start their own club specifically to make anime and about the animation making process. And they have a fun time with that. There are a lot of scenes where they go into like their own little like creative storytelling kind of view instead of like real life for them. And that kind of stuff can sometimes drag on way longer than it needs to. And that was especially the case for the very, very end with the ending animation that they create. Like, I understood why, but man, that last episode really like disappointed me, kinda, in a way. And I was kind of bored with it at the end. But there was also, like I said, those scenes leading up to it where they would just dive into the creative mode, which I liked some of the creative inspiration they were taking, but it would stay there way too long. Way too long. And I wouldn't care. So it's another one of those things, I guess, where like it feels like LARPing. You know, they're just like having fun like in a make-believe land to show off their creative process. So like I get that part, but like when you do it for too long, you lose my attention. So yeah, I'd keep it at B. I'd keep it there. But that opening though, easy breezy. Listeners, I think this is a show I really wanted to like more. I wanted to like this more. Had a really nice opening song, really great visuals, a premise that I could get into, but then they didn't really execute it how I really cared about. So it's like this world where there was these, like, I think they were like waifus to like amplify music jacks, and they become like these mechas, and it felt like it was gonna be like a half rhythm, half like mecha fighting kind of show, and like the mechas were gonna be like waifus or something like that. And that's like a premise I can get into, and it was visually like my kind of thing. So it was like check, but I think it was like some parts of it dragged on way longer than it needed to. And I think there was a part in the last episode I watched where there was like 3 waifus that made up like one mecha thing or something. Were they mechas? Oh god. I'm pretty sure they turned into like mecha things, but I can't exactly remember. It's been so long. This is where we find out I'm a fake anime boy. And I haven't memorized every single plot detail from everything I've watched the first episodes of ever. All the year. Oh boy. I'm gonna leave it at a B. Leave it at a B. Cinderella 9, I think this was? This was a baseball waifu anime. And I think I remembered the main girl was like... I'm putting it in a D, by the way. So just to preface this gets a D. The main character waifu goes into this new school, sits next to this other girl who happens to be flipping through a baseball magazine. Whoa, you like baseball too? Whoa, there's a baseball club team we got at this school? No shit, it's a high school. Of course we got a baseball team. You want to join it? Fuck yeah, I do. But her premise was like, I am really great at pitching. I'm like really like infamous high-speed pitcher. She can throw an insanely fast pitch. But the problem is, it's always going straight down the middle. It's always going to be going straight down the middle. And in baseball, if you know what the pitch is going to be, you've already won. Like, if you know exactly what it's going to be, you can just do anything to, like, counter that. Because you know what the pitch is going to be. You don't have to worry about whether or not it's going to be like a curveball or something like that. And like with her, you know it's going to be a really, really fast, like straight ball going into a strike zone. Like you know that. So they were showing like flashbacks of how traumatized she was because she had learned how to do this really, really well because she wanted to impress everybody at the school. And then like during her middle school games, her whole team would hate her because she kept doing that, and nobody thought to tell her at any point, hey, throw a different pitch, just like a couple times in between. Nobody decided to tell her, especially not the coach, apparently. Nobody told her that, hey, maybe if you just literally throw any other pitch, even if it's like, you know, shittier than your main one, just to kind of throw them off, maybe, just maybe they won't expect it when you throw the real deal. Like that's all it would have taken. And the other thing that pissed me off was for some reason they said like her whole middle school team was like bullying her for that and hated her for that, but then also said that most of them didn't really take the sport seriously and was like on their phone in the middle of the game and shit. It's like, well, which is it? And then I remembered a lot of the side characters in the show like were annoying and didn't fucking contribute much to what was going on. So I give it a D. It's lucky it's not enough. I think I liked some of the waifu designs. That's the only reason why it's not getting enough. Interspecies reviewers, look at this memer here. This is the big boy that caused a lot of shitstorm, and oh boy, the dub got canceled. Mal had to change its rating system for top anime over it. It was a fucking funny time. Just the drama around it. The show itself was actually fucking boring to me. I didn't give a fuck, but I think I'd give it a C because there were like some funny moments that I enjoyed, but I didn't watch past like the first episode. I don't think. I didn't give a fuck. Great Pretender though. Oh, this one's tough because I know if I watch more, it'd probably get an A. But because I only watched the first episode, I'd probably give it a B. where like I really loved the art and I feel like I'm going to absolutely love the anime, but I only watched the first episode. So I don't know if that's actually the case yet, man. So I'll leave it at B for now. Fuck, but do I want to though? Oh shit, that's tough. There's like some language barrier stuff at the beginning. There was fun little because the whole episode was just basically like a con artist kind of setup for the main character to get conned. He thought he was a hot shit con artist, but turned out he was getting conned by this other guy in America so that he could pull some other con on this guy. But it looks like he's about to rope him in to do a whole bunch of con artist stuff, and like the mafia might be involved or whatever. It feels like it's going to be awesome. Feels like it's going to be awesome. But again, I only watched the first episode. So okay, I'll put it in A. Put it in A. There, you've convinced me, chat. Don't worry. You've convinced me. I got you. Id Invaded? This was a much cooler detective show. Way better than Woodpecker Detective Agency or the Millionaire Detective that we're going to get later. This was like detectives exploring like fractured like recreations of crime scenes. It reminded me of a game I had played recently, a visual novel game. Was it a visual novel? I think it was like 3D. It was called AI the Somnium Files. That was it. It was a good game. And it reminded me a lot of that. And it was really, really nice. This one was like, dude wakes up in this mystery world, has to like piece together what's going on with this mystery world, recreate the crime scene without like remembering that's supposed to be a crime scene, and then figure out like the culprit or like what happened with it or something. It was nice. Decadence, though, was a case of the why do people like this? I didn't give a fuck at all. People kept telling me, hey, please watch past the first episode. It gets so good. There's this big twist or whatever with it. I don't care. I didn't care. And I ain't got time for that. Nothing about the first episode convinced me to watch more. I have no intention of ever doing so. But I liked it visually. And I think I liked... what did I like about it? Or like... I don't know what I liked. You know, I might be convincing myself to drop it down to a D. It might be. I'd leave it at C. Brand new animal. Hey, are you ready to go? 'Cause you know it is a B. 'Cause it's Trigger. Trigger makes really, really nice looking stuff. Really fun shows. Best episode. I watched like half of it because it was at the time where Netflix released half and you had to wait until it was done for it to release the other half or whatever. It's another one of those deals with Trigger for me personally where I love them aesthetically, I love them visually, they're a fun time that I'm going to always remember. But story-wise, it's not much. That's usually the thing with Trigger for me. Story-wise, it's usually not much, and usually their messaging is not very like subtle. But like again, you're never going to be disappointed with a Trigger show visually, and you will have a fun time usually. But the best episode in that show was the baseball episode, which is a filler episode from what I remember. I remember that being like mostly a filler episode. I think a main thing that really annoyed me about the show though, because there was one thing that really annoyed me about it, was the core premise was main character girl gets turned into this animal, this beast girl, and she wants to turn back into human. She doesn't know why she turned into this, and she wants to turn back. And so she goes into like the beast world where they all live, and she's trying to figure it out. And she eventually figures out how to turn back into a human when she wants to. She can turn back into a human, and she just chooses not to, and just stays there, even though that was the whole point of her being there and going on these adventures to begin with. She can just undo it now. So, yeah. Any good sign-in so far? Oh, why am I blanking on what sign-in means? Oh, fuck. Marked towards adult men. What would be considered sign-in here? Would Glypnir be considered sign-in? No. Maybe Dorohedoro would be considered sign-in? I don't know. I've never really paid attention to, like, old shonen. Well, I mean, this is all stuff from 2020. I'm trying to think if any of these give off that kind of vibe for me. I guess I think the closest would be Dorohedoro, but I don't know if that's exactly what sign-in exactly is talking about here, so. AOT's not here specifically because I have not seen past episode. I watched like the first season and the first couple episodes of season 2, but I have not put on any of the other Attack on Titan stuff on here. I know the current season is airing, and it technically it would have been on the list, I guess. But it's not on here mostly because I have not seen anything past the first season. By old shonen, I mean the older version of shonen, not older shonen shows. Okay. I'm just not into cutesy or niche hobby stuff. Yeah, I feel you. Are we halfway through? I think we're halfway through. I mean, I'm not going to count them all, but it shows the demographic of 18 plus. Yeah, Dorohedoro, from what I remembered, that was like was that 18 plus? I only watched the first. No, yeah, that was definitely 18 plus. Like there was a kid's face that gets ripped off in the first episode, and I think they showed all of it. And I think Pet was also pretty fucking like dark with its shit, which is the psychological one here. I guess those two. Everything else that's been on here so far, at least, is mostly like cutesy kind of stuff, I guess. These ones, though, Plunderer and something Orphan or whatever, maybe these were? I know this one, I think in the first episode, a woman almost got raped. And I think in this one was like just edgy boy fighting a dragon. But I didn't really care for these, by the way, though, so. What is this one? Something that aired last season? Oh, boy. I gotta get like flashcards for this shit. No, that's this season, right? What am I doing? It'll be here, right? Here it is. Mr. Love, Queen's Choice. Okay, I remember now, based on the name. It was like main character girl, because it was based on like an otome visual novel. Main character girl is trying to like save her broadcast and trying to like interview boys about trying to interview people about these mysterious happenings in the town, and she eventually meets all these various boys that are like connected with like some weird like psychic powers or something. 4 potential boyfriends. Look at she meets 4 potential boyfriends. and special powers known as Evol. There's like conspiracies, there's boys, and somebody, I think, went invisible. I forget if there was like more psychic powers, but it seemed like that kind of thing was pretty boys with psychic powers. And I remembered thinking there was like, I liked some parts of like what the main character girl was doing with like trying to build up the production and like meeting the boys, but I think I didn't really connect with any of the boy characters that showed up. I remembered when we watched the trailer for this, though. The trailer for this looked awesome, and then the anime really disappointed me after I watched the trailer. The trailer like seemed like it really hyped it up as a conspiracy thing, more so than the actual like Otome game side of it. And then you watch the anime and you're like, yeah, I feel the Otome game side of it now. I definitely feel it. Let's talk about this dog shit pile, GB8, and put that in the F real quick. This was a Crunchyroll original, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure this was a Crunchyroll original. I might be wrong here. But this was awful. Maybe it wasn't a Crunchyroll original. Maybe I might have just been dreaming that up, but I remember they were trying to hype the fuck out of this show for some reason, and I have no clue why. This was fucking awful to look at. And okay, so the premise was like, dude is a samurai in like feudal Japan, gets exiled from Japan because he takes the blame for his master for like he's like a samurai there, and he serves a master, and the master does something, and he's fucked up. And he's gonna get executed for it. And samurai dude's like, all right, I'll take the fall for you, but you know he'll get exiled instead. So he gets exiled, and on like the boat out of Japan, I think he's with some other dude at the time he's on the boat too, and they get teleported to like modern, or not modern, it's like future Japan, where some kind of virus is taken over, and people that are infected with this virus turned into crazy fucking monsters, and they look like fucking and I don't mean gross like, you know, visually like they're like designed to be gross. I mean they're disgusting 3D CGI monsters that I hate every single second of looking at. From a production standpoint, not from like an intentional standpoint. And then the characters were all boring except for like the girl they meet. So I was like, I didn't care. Why? Why is Crunchyroll trying to promote this? I have no idea. I don't know who at Crunchyroll Corporate made the big mistake of thinking GB8 was going to be a big thing. Nobody cared. What was this one? Was this like... It was like Shironeko Project Zero Chronicle. This one had like an interesting concept that I remembered thinking, yeah, I might check out more of this to see if it actually like can build upon it. But I don't have faith in it at all. It was like there's two sides in the war. You know, the Prince of Darkness, and you got the White Cat, I guess. Black Prince and the White Cat. And this dude's like village is pretty much killed by this crazy thing that shows up. And this warrior that was like in the area and like found the one kid that survived, he like trains him up. And he's like, all right, you're going to be this dark warrior now. Here's my sword. You're it. And I'm going to die. And he died, I think, for some illness. I forget. And it looked like he was going into like one of the modern towns. He was going to like start trying to build up something. And then the next step, like the episode ended, and I didn't know if it was ever going to catch up with any of that at all. So just finished playing Genshin Impact. Oh boy. I still have to play more of that. I played the tutorial of that, and then a little bit past that, I really liked it. And I'm going to play more of that. Eventually. When I stop being so busy. Arte. This girl trying to make some art. In a time where she's expected to just shut up and become someone else's wife. Because I think she was like the daughter of some wealthy family. And it was like she really, really wanted to get into art. She thinks the world's beautiful and she wanted to like paint it or something. And her father or mother, I forget. Actually, no, I think the father was supportive and the mother hated it. I think it was like that. I think the mother hated her doing that and felt like she was never going to get married if she kept doing that. And the father was like, oh, let her do what she wants. And so she decides, I'm going to go find another painter artist to like be an apprentice under. And I'll learn from them. And she looks around town. Nobody really wants to even bother with her. She eventually finds a guy who's like, all right, I'll give you a test. And he basically gives her an impossible task of like creating like a shit ton. I think it was like 50 like canvas boards in like a day or something like that, or a couple days. It's supposed to be like an impossible task. Like, you'd be crazy if you ever did this task. And it was supposed to be like, all right, see, you're not cut up for it, so get going. But she did it. I think she like fucked up her hands a lot doing it, but she did it. He's like, all right, fine, I'll keep you. And she lives like on the roof of the house in a really like shitty looking like shack thing up there. And I remember thinking, oh, this is gonna be really nice. And I remember thinking, oh, but other than that, I don't know if I don't really know if I really need to watch it immediately right now. So I just left it at that. And it might be, again, it's on my on hold list. Might be something I watch more of. I don't know. What was this one? Was this the Idol Boys? 3D CG models, like backstage something? If it's the show I remember, it was like 3D CG model boy bands competing against each other at like a school. And I didn't care. And I think I got mad because it was my first like... I think I remember it being the first time I had watched an Idol anime where they didn't actually have the rights to like show the translated lyrics of it. Because I think whatever Idol animes I'd watched before, you'd see like the translated lyrics below because they managed to get the rights for them. But this one they didn't bother because you gotta like go for like separate licensing for that. You gotta like pay separate licensing because the songs themselves would be owned by the music artist, and you'd have to buy the licensing from them, not from the show producers or something like that. And I think I remember this being like the first time I encountered an Idol anime where they didn't bother buying the rights for the songs. This is an Idol show where they just didn't translate the songs because they didn't get the rights for it. And I felt like that took away so much from the show where I just don't know what they're singing about. Meitsu opening act? I think that's how you pronounced it. This was supposed to be... This is from this season. This is bad. This is like bad. Wait, hold on. We gotta adjust some things here because I'm realizing some of these I would probably... Alright, I guess I would put this in D. I put that in F. Actually, I put that... Alright, let me make some adjustments here. Because this, I think, would be F. This one I don't think would quite be F because visually it was really, really nice. And it had one really, really good joke. Have I ranked Sleepy Princess? Not yet. It's somewhere here. I know it's somewhere on here. But that one's going pretty high up. Just, a little spoiler there. That one's going high up. I like that one. I'm not going to move all of them around right now, but the Maisetsu opening act was supposed to be cute girls doing stand-up comedy. That was the premise of this. And you'd think, all right, this is going to be great. You're going to be learning about Japanese stand-up comedy. It's going to be a fun time. You're going to laugh because it's a comedy show. I didn't. There was one joke that made me laugh, and it was about a comedic timing thing, and they didn't even it was one good bit that made me laugh, but the rest of it was boring. So all right. So it opens up strong. And I'll talk about this one because this one's fresh in my mind and it has a fresh hatred in my heart. Okay. So it opens up and all these girls are doing a air instrument concert performance. So it's okay, immediately we're opening up to them doing some ridiculous thing that I've never seen before where they're just pretending to play instruments in the air as music is playing over what they're doing. It's the crowd's having fun with it. They think it's awesome. They're enjoying it. And they finish the song. Everybody loves them. And then the main girl, the redheaded girl, is like, all right, now we're going to do a joke bit for to wrap it all up. So she starts doing this train platform announcer impression bit. Please stand clear of the closing doors, and then doing sound effects for the doors closing, psh, ding, ding, that kind of stuff. And it's so awkward because it's out of nowhere and it's not funny. And she spends the whole episode thinking nobody thought it was funny and everybody thought it was awkward because she didn't perform it well. Never did she ever think that maybe the bit was just not a good one and she should move on to something else, because that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought it was going to be her other friend, this blue-haired girl who she works with for the comedy. They're the comedy duo in their group. I thought it was going to be blue-haired girl tells her, all right, that bit's just not funny. We got to go back to square one. We got to learn about Japanese stand-up together from nothing for the audience as well, so we can teach them all about that. We have our training arc here and we learn about that. No, we don't get any of that. What we get instead is they spend the entire episode practicing this goddamn platform impression bit. This platform announcement impression bit. And I don't care at all. And I don't know why they needed it for the entire first episode. I was so fucking mad with this show when it did that. Oh, God. Yeah, Maisetsu opening act, fucking bad. Visually, it looked nice. Whew. You're from Boston? Yes, I am. Boston kid. We got clam chowder. We got Fenway Park. We got Dunkin' Donuts every 3 feet. We got it. We got it, fam. It's here. Next we got Gallon Dino. This one was actually high tier comedy for me. High tier This one was a weird one though. I don't expect everybody to like this. This was definitely a thing that I had an acquired taste for. It kind of reminded me of Pop Team Epic. It would air the pretty much the same episode twice, but the first half would be all animated. Then the second half would be live action with some different scenes and a different main character. So Gallon Dino on the animated side of it is this girl who brings some cutesy stylized dinosaur home and lives with him, and they have a fun time with really funny jokes related to that. Really nice bits. I really enjoyed the comedy of that. And then the live action stuff is even better because instead of the girl, it's this old Japanese man. Instead, just in the same exact premise and setting. And obviously the dinosaur in the live action is just a big plushy doll. And it's so fun. It's so fun. Oh man, I feel like this is a show that I definitely feel like could be an S tier for me. But again, some of these that are in A, I'll probably bump it to S afterwards. Right now, I'm hesitant to bump them up to S yet because right now I'm trying to base it off of like, I guess, how I feel the show would be in general. And since I've only watched mostly the first episodes or first couple episodes of these, I wouldn't exactly bump them to S yet. But once I'm done going through, I will like adjust this a bit to take into account the fact that I've only seen the first episode. So just based on the content I've seen from them so far, I would bump them around. So Ikebukuro Westgate Park. Fucking bad. Bad. If you've seen Durarara is good. Durarara is amazing. You should watch Durarara. This is a bootleg Durarara of the worst kind. The absolute worst. I fucking hated everything about this. There was nothing appealing to me. Nothing at all. Like, even with some of these, like with Cinderella 9, I think I liked the waifu designs. Oh god. And now we finally get to Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. High tier. Now here's my thing though. I'm gonna give it a B. Now let me explain. The first episode, fucking great. I loved it so much. That alone, I would give an A, probably. The problem is, for me, the jokes with it, because the premise of it is Princess gets kidnapped by the Demon King and is held prisoner at the Demon King's castle. And instead of focusing on like the hero's journey to go save the princess, we focus on the princess herself who has been captured. And she just kind of wants to like sleep away her time in there. So she just spends the whole time trying to think of like cute ways or like comfier ways to sleep in this situation. And it's really, really good. It's not bad at all. It's really, really fun. And it's really cute. And she's like torturing all the like Demon King minions that are supposed to be keeping her prisoner. She's like pretty much owning the place. Like, it's really, really good. Here's my problem with it though. My problem with it though is I can't see it lasting more than like 4 episodes of that joke for me. I feel like it's something where it can only like stretch it so far. For me at least. For me at least. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm definitely not saying it's bad. It's good. It's really, really good. I think people should watch it. This is just me thinking, because I've only watched the first episode of it. And I really, really like it. And I just keep trying to think of how it can stay that good past like 4 episodes. Because this is supposed to be a whole like 12 episode show, right? I don't know if I could still find it as funny after like 4 episodes. I don't know. I honestly can't tell you. It's still on my list because it's currently airing. It's on my list of stuff I'm going to watch more of this season. I am going to watch more of it. I'm going to get caught up probably someday this week. Right now I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen. I already got caught up with Akudama Drive. I'm going to be going through all these. So I'll let you know if this gets bumped up anymore. But right for now, I'd leave it at a B and tell you guys to definitely check it out. Smile Down the Runway. Oh man, this one's an A. A. And I did not expect this at all. I did not expect this to get an A. I did not expect to give a fuck about Smile Down the Runway. I did not. Okay, so here's the thing about Smile Down the Runway. It's about fashion. You have 2 stories. You have the main story. Actually, no, they're both like equal parts of the story. So you have this guy who's like a fashion designer. Then you have this model girl. and they're each dealing with their own things, and it's really, really good. So like the model, like her dad owns this modeling agency, and she's growing up, and she's like, I'm gonna be a model for your business when I grow up, Dad. It's gonna be awesome. You're gonna love me, right? And they're like, yeah, just make sure, as long as you grow to be this tall, you can go down the runway in Paris or whatever. And she never grew like an inch higher than what she was that year or whatever. So the premise with her is she's an idol that's really short. The rest of her body looks great, but because she's short, it fucks up like all of the outfits she can wear for the runway. And so she's heavily affected by that. And she is like working hard to still make it in the industry despite that. She's still trying to find a way. And she meets this guy at her school who's a really talented, but like not really out there kind of like designer who's just working on his own thing from like scrap pieces of cloth. And he becomes like a big deal because she has him make her an outfit, and then she wears it around. She's doing like some viral like hype marketing on like Instagram with her outfits or whatever, showing it off, and it blows up, it gets popular, and then people try to order the dress or whatever, but like they find out that like the actual agency she works for doesn't actually sell it. So the dad has to call him in and be like, hey, can I buy the rights for the dress from you? We want to bring you on as a designer, but you're still in high school, but we can set you up with like this other place and you can like study under them or something like that. He ends up going to like a designer school, I believe, or going through some kind of program through that. And it's so like, I did not expect to give a fuck at all about fashion, but it's not just about the fashion part of it. It's one of those like shonen kind of vibes where it's all about like accomplishing your goals, following your dreams, and like the process and like mindsets you're going to go throughout that whole journey. That is 100% my kind of show. 100%. 100%. It was so good. I'm wondering whether I put it in S tier. This one might be one I'd put in S tier, honestly. I'm trying to think of things that I didn't really like about it. I think I loved it. Yeah, I think that's going to be the first S that I officially know off the top. In part, it's mostly because it's one of the only ones I've fully watched that we've placed so far. Again, most of these, I've only placed them where they are initially because I've only watched one episode of them. Once I'm done going through all of these, I will move them around a little bit more. But where they are right now is where they are because I watch one episode of them and I'm trying to guess like what the rest of the show, how I'm going to feel about the rest of the show. So I'm hesitant to put most of the stuff in the S tier because of that. Richard Jeweler. I think I liked like the story they had in the first episode, but I knew it was a premise I was going to be bored with. So the premise was like, guy is a jeweler, dude tries to get this like jewel thing appraised, he uncovers like a story behind the jewel, and it seems like it's going to be a show where they just keep receiving different types of jewelry, they look into the history of it to appraise it, and they find some like emotional story related to it. And the stories can be nice, but it's kind of presented in like boring ways, and I don't know if I cared too much for like some of how it was executed. So it's something that I'd be like, I like the idea of it, wish it was executed better, so I give it a C. Peter Grill. I'd give that a C. Peter Grill is trash. Hentai kind of shit. Okay. There's a censored version and there's an uncensored version. And these are shorts, mind you. And the premise is Peter Grill is like the strongest warrior in the land. He is the strongest Chad. And every nation wants his seed. for their kingdom so that they can like build up stronger like warriors in their kingdom, pretty much is like the premise. But he sims for this one girl that he's already known, who's like a very like religious, very innocent girl who like is clueless to what sex even is. I think she still believed in like the stork or whatever. So it's a funny little premise with that. But the rest of the show is all of these nations, or like women from all these different nations, just trying to fuck him in various ways. Just to try to like, because he is the absolute Chad, and they all want his genetically superior genes to go through their species. Some of it's funny, some of it's awkward. Most of it is not like great, and so I think there was one that was just he just flat out got raped. I'm pretty sure that was one. It's not. It has funny moments. That's pretty much like the only reason why I have it at a C. It has funny moments, and it's one of those shows that I can laugh at the idea of more than the actual show itself. Its only saving grace is that's just hilarious to talk about some of the stuff that's in it. So I give it a C. He's not strong. The first episode was pretty much that. These two like orc girls or ogre girls or something like that. They pretty much go up to him and they're like, you're the Chad. We need you. It's not just one of us. There's two of us. Yeah, you can't really fight that, right? And then he basically like it fades to white as he's like trying to like resist it, and then like it goes to the morning. He's like, ah shit, I did it, didn't I? Like, what do you mean? Would you black out and like you woke up and you did it? No, it's not. How did I accidentally bang like two orcs again? God damn it, I hate my life. How do you Okay, this one, I don't remember the title. I don't remember much of it. This one's probably one of the ones that I would not remember enough to the point where I'd put it in, don't remember. I don't even know if I paid attention with the one episode I watched. It was shorts. I just can't even remember enough to tell you. I can't. I think this one would also be like that. But this one, I know I remembered it looking like dog shit. This looks like some Newgrounds bullshit. I feel like I'd make like another tier that says don't remember and I don't remember much but think it was shit. Like that would be this. I remembered it being shit. That was like the only thing. Join the pack. Seton something. This one was high tier just from the voice acting alone. Like, I didn't even watch, like, a dub, though. I watched, like, the Japanese sub, but I just remember the voice acting sounded really, really nice for this. And that's never really something I paid attention to much with the Japanese subs. But I noticed it here. The premise was, like, human dude joins school that's all animal people. And there's, like, only one other girl at the school who is a human. But this, like, dog girl or fox girl, I forget if it was, like, a dog or a fox or something, but this main girl here, pink-haired girl, is like, you're gonna join my pack, human boy, and I'm gonna just stick around with you until you do. And then eventually he does, and it looks like they're gonna have a fun time, and I meant to watch more, and I just haven't yet. Misfit Demon King, that'd be an A. I didn't watch all of it. I think I watched most of it. Most of it. I definitely don't think it reaches up to S. Actually, no. What am I? I don't know if I should leave it at A. I remember towards the beginning, I felt it was an A. And I think when I kept watching, I was like, it's more like a B. So let me correct myself right there. That's a B. To explain it, for those of you who don't know, Misfit Demon King is... Demon King basically helps end this war against the demons and man, like, years ago or whatever. Pretty much is the guy that saves the world, like, 2,000 years beforehand. And he gets reincarnated 2,000 years later. And nobody has remembered that he saved the world or whatever. Um, but the Demon King like is still a thing in this world that can rule over, I guess. And he's reincarnated in the world. He has all of his powers. He has all of his memories of it. And he ages to like teenage years in like a month after being born or something like that. And it's one of those like comedy OP main character reincarnated deals, I guess, where he just is the Demon King, just reincarnated, and has insane spells that he's using on these things. And the premise that makes it funny, though, is he's in this world where nobody knows that he was the Demon King, and somebody has fucked with the history of this world where they wouldn't believe him anyways. And this has this whole new like history, and nobody recognizes him as the Demon King ever. And he's trying to like convince people, because he absolutely is the Demon King. He's trying to like recruit his old guard again under him, and he's trying to like build up a new kind of group so that he can take over. I got bored of that anime and dropped it. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I can definitely feel towards the beginning of this where it's not really people's thing. For me, it was my kind of thing, just because of like, so like OP main protagonist stuff, I understand can be totally hit or miss, especially for me. This one, I think I stuck with it just because the idea that like he's really, really OP and he has to like convince the people of the world that like he is supposed to be in charge of the place and they've all just like been tricked into it or something. I think there's like enough interest in there for me to keep going. And also had enough like comedic timing, like scenes to keep me with it, I guess. But it's definitely not something I had to correct myself there. I don't think it's an A. I'd stick it at B. I didn't finish it. So that goes to show you a lot about how much I really cared about it, I guess. I got like 6 or 7 episodes in though. Shadowverse anime was shit, though. We don't talk about the Shadowverse anime. Shadowverse is a card game. This was an anime based on it. Fucking awful. Didn't care for anything. Wave, please listen to me. I remembered it being awesome. And I'm definitely going to watch more of it. I think I got a reminder yesterday to watch more of this. Because I was reading some manga through like Crunchyroll manga on like my Kindle, and Wave Please Listen to Me was one of the manga on there. I didn't read it, but I just remembered, hey, wait, that was a show that I meant to go back to. Premise is, girl who's never been into radio before in her life is suddenly like thrust into the world of radio through like some incident involving her being drunk and calling in on a show and like ranting about it, her ex-boyfriend or something. And then going to the radio later and being mad at them and yelling at them about it, and then going on air to like express their feelings. And this was like, she's just ranting about her life experiences and her current thoughts going on, but like trying to act out in like some radio play, instead of just directly like ranting about her stuff. So she's trying to make it a little more entertaining for the people listening. And I think the first episode, she's like pretending like she's in the forest fighting a bear. But like really she's just in a studio, and like the bear was supposed to be symbolic for like all of her life problems going on and her relationship issues and getting involved in this new job and having to deal with like people listening to her like rant. So it's supposed to be like symbolic towards the beginning, and I don't know if there's going to be more of that, but I liked that. So card game anime are as full as shit. They can be, yeah, they usually are, but like Yu-Gi-Oh can be like fun in its own way. The card game side of it has never been the selling point of something like Yu-Gi-Oh. Nobody gives a fuck about, at least in my opinion, nobody gives a fuck about watching them play the card game in Yu-Gi-Oh. The fun of it, especially with Yu-Gi-Oh, I talked about it with some friends of mine the other day. Yu-Gi-Oh Season 1 was probably like the funnest Yu-Gi-Oh season, in my opinion, just because of like there's so much you can just laugh at about the show itself, and like, it's just so funny. The card game side of it was always the most boring part. The fun part was always just laughing at some of the like ridiculous shit that might happen in some of the card games. Like, my monster's attack has infinity attack points. My monster's card has infinity and more. What? Impossible! No! Like, that kind of shit. It's like... oh, boy. And, like, the fact that, like, not season 0. Did I say season 0? It was, like, season 1. Like, the dual kingdom. Dual monsters, whatever. When they're on the island. That shit was fun. And like they were just ignoring the actual rules of the card game that they're playing. And then when they get into like the duelist city, they're just like, hey, you can't just summon a monster without sacrificing monsters for it if it's like a big one. We got fucking rules in this game. You gotta follow these rules. And they're like, oh shit, really? Damn. Japan sinks. More like Japan well, no, Japan doesn't stink. This anime stinks. This fucking... okay, I don't know if I'd exactly put it an F. I'd leave it at D, I guess, maybe. C, maybe? Oh, fuck. I don't even know anymore. I put it C, I guess. So the major thing about Japan sinks. It seemed like another one of those hype Netflix anime. Really strong opening. Japan Sinks is a fucking crazy earthquake, shakes up Japan, destroys a shit ton of things, and Japan is starting to sink. And people have to like try to find a way to survive as everything is going wrong. And you follow this like family slowly trying to like survive in this world. And this is one of those shows where you shouldn't try to be connected with any of these characters because they're very likely to die within like minutes of you meeting them, or like every episode you're gonna like lose an important character that you liked or whatever, that kind of show. And it's like, if it's that kind of thing, it's be like, okay, like I was getting Walking Dead vibes of this at the beginning, even though there's no zombies, it's just them trying to survive. And the main enemies, just like in The Walking Dead, aren't the zombies, because there's no zombies here. It's the other humans trying to survive in this situation. But where it goes all to shit is there's this arc where they go to this, like, cult. They go to some cult, and I think weed was involved with this cult or something. It was like a marijuana cult, like, dealer thing, I guess. They have this whole big community there. And something about the higher ups in the community were like in the cult were just trying to like do some fucked up thing and collect a bunch of gold or money or whatever. And it was just such a bad arc. It was fucking bad in a million ways. I keep saying a lot of swears. YouTube's not gonna like me. I'm not used to streaming on YouTube. I'm used to streaming on Twitch where I don't have to worry about monetization afterwards, I guess. But I guess here I do, and I don't really care to censor myself here. So, yeah, Japan Sinks, very, very awkward arc, and then after that, didn't really pick itself up at all. It's got this cast of weird characters. It's got some weird things going on with the languages in like the Japanese sub, and then the dub also had weird stuff going on. So much missed potential. So just really dropped the ball here. We're almost there. Don't worry. We're almost there. Apparaman. They like make mechanized like cars and do some crazy race, but they didn't actually get to it in time in the first episode, so I feel like I didn't really get a real taste of it, but even in the first episode I didn't really. Saw Lily Bouquet looked really, really nice. First episode was a massive info dump, though. Can't tell yet if it's going to be good. I put it as C for now. Wandering Witch, though, that'd be an A. It's like Kino's Journey, but with a anime witch girl. And it's got very strong emotional lessons in the very first episode. And I loved it. I loved it a lot. And you probably will too. Go check out Wandering Witch. Now this one, you already know. Would I put this one at an S? I don't know. It's definitely going to be at least an A. Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2. You already know what it is. You already know. This one had an election arc in it. I like election arcs. I tend to like them from the few times in anime I've seen them. And I think it's starting to be an archetype that I really enjoy. I liked it here too. Would I give it an S? It's tough to call, but I know it's at least going to be an A. Sounds like 2020. Well, it makes sense because Japan Sinks was called like Japan Sinks 2020, so... What was this one? This one aired this season. I don't care to look up the name. This one was like... One side wanted to... Both sides are in like this 100-year war. And they want to take over the world from the other side so that they can live in peace. So they both want peace, but only through taking over the other nation. So they're not going to like coexist. It's going to be an all or nothing thing, but they both say that they want peace, but through their own terms with that. Okay, so this was like the guy from one side and the girl from another side like are just meet each other for the first time, do like a fight to the death. The girl side is like witches or like magical people, and the other side I think is just normal people, but like they have guns or something, I forget. And they're fighting, and they're like supposed to be fighting to the death for like their different sides in the war. And I guess main character Kun here catches the waifu as she falls off a rock, and she gets all blushy uwu, and then they leave, and then like they were supposed to keep fighting. They were supposed to fucking kill each other, but they just walked away from that thing. And then she like goes to a movie or like a theater play, and he's there like next to her in the like it's one of those things where it's gonna be like a Romeo and Juliet, like these two different sides of this war, they're gonna fall in love together, it's gonna be a cute thing. This was tagged ecchi. Fantasy, action, romance. It's supposed to be like a serious war thing. Even if it was like romance on like both sides, like, you know, it's going to be like forbidden love in the battlefield. Okay, I can be down for that. But that ecchi tag, though, the ecchi tag kind of ruining all of the steam it has. Kind of ruining all the potential. So... Yes, a crappy Romeo and Juliet, pretty much, yeah. Heroes. This was like HX Eros. This one's one that I always loved talking about the premise for. And it was pretty fun for the first couple episodes. Maybe if I watched more, I would have appreciated it more, but... So here's the premise. I'm going to describe it to you now. You're going to love it. Okay. Horny harem Power Rangers fighting against alien forces trying to turn the world abstinent. And their powers come from just... So like, their powers just come from being horny teenagers. That's pretty much the thing here. So... So it's got like that funny bit going on. I don't know if the... There's supposed to be like messages with this, and I know I'm supposed to like... I felt things for some of the messaging they were trying to portray, but just the premise is so fucking funny to me that like... I can't really take it seriously, even though at times it really kind of feels like I'm supposed to be, but I'll leave it at a B. Horny harem Power Rangers fighting against abstinence. He's like, I remember these like alien bugs come down and they just make people really, really depressed by taking away their like all their horniness, and they're like an empty husk afterwards. Like sex is the only thing people think about apparently, and without that they just become depressed fucking shells of the people they were apparently. It's like, what the fuck? Wait, what is this? Oh, is this Monster Girl Doctor whatever? I just hated. I didn't hate it, but again, I might have to make adjustments here. Like here, I might have to make adjustments here, and I might have to make adjustments here. But you watched 5 episodes of HX Eros? I think I did too. I think I did the same kind of thing. I forget what this is called, but I know this was like, the dad is like a dirty manga comic artist, and the daughter's like an innocent girl who he doesn't want her to know that he makes them. So he like goes to like extreme lengths to try to hide it from her, and it's like a funny thing. It's like a funny little cute thing. I remembered wanting to watch so much more of that. And I just always get so busy. I'm going to say that for a lot of stuff I like, and I hate myself for doing it. I'm not going to do it anymore. We've already been streaming for like 2 hours and 13 minutes. I don't want to take up more time just saying the same shit. So I forgot the name of this one. This was shorts that looked really nice and felt really nice about this girl who made a best friend with somebody online, and then I think that area had like an earthquake or something, and she tried to like go find her to make sure she was okay. And when she got there, there was like some big reveal. I won't spoil it in case you watch it, but there was like a reveal of something about the girl when she meets her. I'd give it a B. It's a nice little cute show. Her like adventure getting there. Jujutsu Kaisen, that's something I'm watching right now. I would give that at least an A. This is something airing right now. I've watched 6 episodes of. I was halfway through the 7th episode before I decided to stream tonight. Adult life, I get you. Oh yeah, so much responsibilities, man. It's fucking crazy. But I make time to make the content here, I guess. Oh, what is this one? This looks like chibi, like anime heads. I just honestly might not remember this at all. Was this something that I shouldn't have put on here? Was this like a chibi version of some show I didn't see and I accidentally put it on here? What the fuck is this? Let me look through Annie chart, see what I can find. Rebirth. Oh, I remember. This was a card game thing. It was like a mobile card game, chibi version of like advertise. Oh, I got people actually. Oh shit, Kennedy retweeted this. Holy shit, thank you, Kennedy. I didn't even realize. I didn't even look at my Twitter. Damn, Kennedy, thank you. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember it enough. I just remembered it being a card game thing, and I was bored to tears. So I'd put it in don't remember. Don't remember should be like an even lower tier. I guess that's why it'd be an F tier or below F tier, because if I don't even remember it enough to say how bad it was, it's probably that bad. Like, these were card game shorts. Chibified waifus, too. So it's like, imagine if you take the concept of an anime to sell a card game, and you know that people aren't going to give a fuck about the actual card game side of it. So you're supposed to have, like, you know, other content and the characters being developed on the side that would make it more interesting than the actual card games that you throw into the episode every couple times. This looked like it was just the card game, but like with chibi waifus. So I didn't care. Why the fuck would you care? I don't. What is this one? There's like a pink-haired girl. Was this the president? Like the class president? Shitty fantasy thing? Let me find it. Because it's gonna annoy me until I find it. It was like Seicho. Here it is. Sachibato, president. It's time for battle. Dude becomes like the president of some like adventuring company thing or mining company thing or something. I think it was just like an adventure company. And he's got like big cast of waifus he gets to go on adventures with now. And it was boring as shit. I didn't care. Didn't ask. So tell us not. That's gonna be on here somewhere. I know it should be on here. I forget what the cover looked like for it. It's supposed to be on here. Yeah, right here. Tell us not. It's gotta be here. We're almost there. Oh boy, it's kind of far away, but don't worry. Some of these will lightning fast through. This was. You know, that's a great question. What was this one? Oh, shit. Oh, this was the boy band one that came out recently. This was Hypnosis Mike. Yeah. Interesting premise, kind of boring music, I guess. Maybe it's just not my thing, but it was like boy band's idol show where in this future world, women have taken over, I guess. For some reason, that's a big plot point, that women have taken over the government. But they've also removed all weapons. There's no need for weapons anymore in the world. They've banned them all. They're not a thing. And now they just use these, like, amplified microphones that are, like, heavily influential and, like, powerful. And so you literally fight people with your words. And the best way to channel it is through, like, rapping. Your, like, rap and singing skills. So this is, like, 4 boy bands. The first episode introduces them all. They're different, like, song styles. They're different aesthetics. And some of them were okay. Most of them I didn't care for. And this was another one of those shows that came out where this is my first year ever experiencing this, because I watched idol shows before where they got the license for the lyrics. These ones did not have the license for the lyrics. So I literally don't know what they're singing about at all on the official shows I'm paying for to watch these on. And that's very disappointing. Don't know if I blame the shows for that. I blame, like, Crunchyroll or whatever, but, or Funimation. I forget who did this, but, you know, I mostly blame them for that. But even if I did know what they were talking about, like, the drive of this would be the music, right? Or the characters. I didn't really care much for the characters other than aesthetic. Aesthetically, they were nice. Very nice looking characters. I like the idea of the influential microphone technology and the interesting stuff that they could do with that. And I feel like I'd be interested in the Battle Royale, like, kind of like band tournament arc thing that they were going to be doing, but yeah, I don't know. I'd just leave it at C. Did you put Violet Evergarden movie on here? I did not, because I have not seen it. I have seen all of Violet Evergarden. I wasn't a huge fan. I didn't like it, but I think I've been meaning to rewatch it recently to see if maybe I'd have like a more, like a clearer, like, understanding of things that I could like about it. Because I remember the first time I watched all of it just to, like, blast through it so that I can watch it in time for the Crunchyroll Anime Awards the year it came out. And I remember being bored as shit, but there was, like, really nice emotional scenes towards the beginning I liked. and it looked really nice, but I was bored through like most of it the first time I watched it. But I feel like if I go back and rewatch it, there might be more stuff that I appreciate about it. But the movie, I haven't seen it online. I don't know if you can find it online right now. Maybe you can, but I haven't found it online yet. But I know that... Oh, wait. Are you talking about, like... I know there's one that came out in Japan. I know there was also one that came out before, but did that come out last year? I don't even remember. Funny enough, my Japanese teacher loves Violet Evergarden, and she's been waiting to watch that movie, I think. Rent a Girlfriend. A baby, yeah, it's got really nice okay. Actually, no, yeah, I will still keep it at A. So, towards the beginning, the very, very beginning, I watched more episodes of this. I haven't finished it yet, but I've seen more than half of it. So, I understand enough to know that I do like it and would put it at an A. The beginning, I felt like it was not doing very well at like balancing the comedic moments and the like serious moments, and it was putting comedic moments at a lot of times where it was supposed to be like a very serious scene, and I felt like it wasn't taking like the emotional side of this show seriously, because it seemed like something that I would love the emotional side of it more so than the comedy side of it, but I appreciate the comedy side of it being there, where like this dude's depressed because he broke up with his girlfriend, feels very lonely, he tries one of those like rental girlfriend services, and he kind of feels like a loser for even having to do that. But he has to get locked into this thing where he has to impress his grandma. For some reason, the grandma and the girl's grandma are like trying to get them to like fuck. And I'm just like, okay, that's a little awkward that the grandparents are like trying to like trying to get them to be alone together to like bang or whatever. I'm like, okay, grandma, that's okay, that's nice. Great that you support the relationship, but you don't have to support it that hard. I don't know, but where I had left off with it, like the ex has introduced, the ex is a bitch, a complete bitch. I hate her entirely. I love the current girl. Was her name Chizuru? And then I just met this girl here, Ruka. She's really nice. I haven't met this other one yet, but you're like meeting more of the rental girlfriend, like other rental girl. What is? I'll put that. Okay, you can stop with that. All right. You're like meeting more of the actual different girls from the rental girlfriend service, and that seems like that's gonna come up with like some interesting ties and points with that. So I'm hyped. The grandmas are hilarious. I just think it's like a little awkward just how hard they're trying to get their grandchildren to bang each other. Breakers. It was nice little emotional shorts about these different like handicapped kids pursuing each of their own kind of like dreams, but there was like weird like I think I remember some like robot was helping them or something like that. There was stuff with this. I can't remember too much of the facts about it, but I give it a C. This is Breakers. This was like handicapped kids getting into sports, learning that like you can still do stuff even though you're handicapped, or like learning that, or either they had just become handicapped or they had always been handicapped and had just started like learning that there was more that they could do, or improving at what they were already doing through like some means. There was like important messages with that, and it was nice. But I don't know, something about the fact that it was shorts and the presentation of it kind of felt meh. Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s though, I give it a B. I'm watching this. Well, I'm not up to date on it, but it's not licensed anywhere is the only issue. You gotta watch it off of those weird sites, you know. And this probably won't get licensed for a while because we had a pandemic happen this year, and I'm guessing Konami doesn't like to try to promote a children's card game, especially one like 7s that's generated for not generate. It's designed for the next generation of kids, as opposed to it's like now aged audience of like 20-something-year-olds from like the older shows. Like this is supposed to be for the new generation. It's really nice. I did a whole video about the entire first episode. I broke it down completely here on the YouTube channel, so you can go check that out if you want. That's a really, good time, I'd say, as the guy who made it. I worked hard. Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens is a very interesting show. It got nice characters, got simplified rules. Its storytelling is way different than the older Yu-Gi-Ohs. The only thing is, like, some things about it towards the beginning, you don't really, like, get a direct, like, sense of some kind of important plot. It's very indirect with, like, the plot progression that's going on, in that, like, they are building towards things, but you are so dazzled by them trying to promote the card game, which is Rush Duels, the new format, pretty much, and you're so, like, focused on that, like, you don't even pay attention to, like, the subtle world building that's happening, and it's actually really cool with it. The license was just announced. I forget the legal site, but it will be coming out. I just finished the vid you were talking about. Wanted to see where you rank it here. Oh, well, that's convenient to hear. That's nice to hear. I would love to see, because I did not even know it was just licensed. That's great to hear. I had just assumed that it wasn't getting licensed anywhere for a while until, like, things were settling down with the pandemic, because the cards aren't licensed or whatever for Rush Duels yet, and Konami was probably waiting for, like, a time where, like, they could properly time it all to release. That's what I was assuming. That's why I figured that wasn't licensed anywhere, because I was thinking, like, how is the new Yu-Gi-Oh anime not licensed anywhere yet? It's got to be somewhere, right? So that's nice to hear. That's nice to see. I'm glad. I will look into that once this is done. Moriarty the Patriot. No. I give it a D, I guess. Detective show I was really hoping to like. Edgy detective boy. Supposed to be like, I don't know much about Sherlock Holmes, but I believe he's supposed to be like the Sherlock Holmes, like, arch nemesis. And he like picks up a newspaper. He's like, all right, I'm going to solve this crime here that's written in the newspaper. And he, like, deduces a whole bunch of stuff that, like, is very much, like, circumstantial and, like, wouldn't necessarily be absolutely, like, the fact at all. And he's like, this is 100% what's going on with this. Even though, like, there's a way, like, a million other things it could have been easily. And to go down the logical route he was going down was insane. But I guess that was supposed to be his whole character thing. And they uncover, like, some killer, and the edgy thing about him that's supposed to make him different from, like, a traditional detective is they find out who the killer is, and they decide to let, like, some dad whose kid was murdered by this murderer, like, get justice by murdering him back. They're like, all right, we tied the guy who killed your son in this room. You can go in there and kill him if you want. Here's like a knife. You can go have fun with that. And it's like, okay, so we're going to be edgy with that. Well, I didn't care for the logic of how he solved the case, which I feel like is supposed to be, like, the important part, is the interest in the case and the logic they used to solve it. And I didn't care for any of what was happening with that. From the first episode, at least. I don't know if it gets better. It might get better. I hear this is a popular show airing this season. I didn't care. So, I leave it at D. I didn't give it an F. I didn't give it an F. Give it a D. Fire Force, though. This is season 2. I didn't watch too much of season 2 yet. I loved season 1. And I think I watched, like, the first 6 episodes of season 2. I give season 2 a B. I'd probably give season 1 a B as well. But it's one of those shonens I would watch all of, and I would enjoy. But I know going into it that it's going to be a B. You know? Rail Romanesque was waifus that are trains. Like, not like, I thought it was going to be like train engineers. Waifu train engineers. No, these are actual waifu-fied, like, trains. And they're not just like, they're like historical kind of Japanese railroads, I guess. And these are like episode shorts. I give it a C, I guess. Had some funny parts of the first episode. I didn't realize they were like train waifus. I thought they were just engineers until they go to a dinner and they're just eating coal and drinking gasoline. And some of them are plugging themselves in because they're electric trains, I guess. Like, is that kind of deal? It's a funny little thing. Kuma 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 Bear. You know how I mentioned before earlier about how I hate fucking animes that take place in games and they just LARP with NPCs the whole time? That's what this was, the first episode of. And I think it wasn't supposed to be. I think this was supposed to be a show where... This is a show where aesthetically I was going to be really into it. I could already tell because this is cute waifu gets isekai'd into a video game and... Or maybe not isekai, but like trapped in a game as like a cute bear like mascot girl. And she's gonna have a fun time there. You're gonna have a nice cute time. But they go in. The first episode was like... I think the first episode was a future glimpse in her. Because I remember I read the synopsis of it and it was like she was a stock exchange person who played the VR MMO like just for fun while she was doing stock exchange stuff automatically on the computer. And she'd play the VR MMO, she'd be obsessed with it, and then one day she woke up and she was like trapped in the game at like level 0 as this bear costume. But like in episode 1 we already are in the bear costume and she's just playing the game. And it kind of like shows her like on the bed playing it too, but like at the very end of the episode after she does this NPC quest, it looks like she is introducing the game for the first time at the very end, and it shows a completely different avatar. So it makes me think that whole first episode that I watched was actually supposed to be a flash forward. But like... Okay, so like if it was in the... How they framed that to me, that whole first episode felt like it was just a girl playing a VR MMO where she's in a bear costume, LARPing with NPCs, and I didn't give a fuck about that. If they had framed it before where she was just playing the game casually, she got trapped in the game at level 0 bear, like from the beginning, maybe I'd be more interested in that, but they didn't do that here. First episode, even though with the LARPing part of it, okay, so here's how the episode went. She's at the adventure hall with a whole bunch of other like NPCs. I'm assuming they're NPCs. There might have been like actual players in there. I'm not sure, but I think at that point they were just all NPCs. And another NPC boy from a village comes in, crashes in the doors, and says, "My village has been attacked by a giant black cobra or whatever. Some big ass snake is attacking my village and like eating everything." And adventurer lady there that could post the jobs or whatever, and everybody there's like all looking like grim on their faces because they're not high enough level to handle it, and the lady there's trying to explain that to him, like she feels bad for him, but like they can't really do anything. And the main character girl walks up and her like bear outfit's like, "Nah, I got this, I'll handle this." She's got like 2 bear like puppets on her hands too for like gloves, I guess. She's like, "Yeah, I can handle it." So like her whole thing was supposed to be like, she looks ridiculous, but she's like super powerful in the game, I guess. It's just nobody believes her. So like she goes into the town, she goes to save the people in there, but even the people in there are like, "Nah, you're fucking with us. You're not a real fucking hero. Don't make me laugh." They like burst out laughing just looking at her and thinking that she's gonna save them. And then she does save them with like 3 punches at the snake. And then she kills the snake. And then that was it. That was it. So fuck me, man. This was Alchemist something about writers and like exploring the writer's past, and like the books that they were involved with are getting fucked with by history, and these dudes go into the books, and Bungo and Alchemist, I think it was what it was called. So they like, go through the books and like fix them and like resolve some issue with like some character in it. I didn't give a fuck. It'd be a D. Actually, why did we even put that at a D? Yeah, I put it at a D. There's some stuff I liked about it, I think, with like the story elements that they introduced within the book that they're exploring. So I think I like the original book that they're exploring in the anime more so than the actual anime, but okay. I'm at a loss for where I should put Higurashi Go. I guess I'd put it at a B. Maybe a C. I see, like, my complication with this is I went into this like everybody else thinking this was going to be a reboot of the original Higurashi anime. Because I watched the first season of the original Higurashi anime. I never finished reading the visual novels. I always meant to go back and watch season 2 of the Higurashi anime, but I haven't yet. And it's been a while. And I don't really plan to anytime soon. But it's like, oh, new Higurashi reboot. Now I can just watch it all from the beginning with everybody else. And we can have a fun time with this new art style. A little cutesy looking. People had concerns about that, but I was fine with it. I really liked the first episode and how it came out. I liked it visually. I still liked how it felt. It still felt really nice. Come to find out, I didn't watch the second episode, but I'm glad I didn't. Second episode was when they revealed, yeah, LOL, JK, this is not Higurashi, like, new reboot. This is Higurashi Go. It's not a remake. It's not a remake. It's a fucking sequel. And we lied to you for months and months and months about what it was going to be for marketing. We just lied to you in the marketing of this show. And now those of you who haven't seen the show before, guess what? You just got major goddamn spoilers in that second episode. Major spoilers for the entire premise of the twist with the show. So get fucked. That was what happened with that. So I'm sure if I was caught up on... So I had to drop it after that. I couldn't watch more of it after that because I haven't finished the original Higurashi yet. I haven't finished it, so I can't... And it's like, visually, it looks nice, and I'm sure if I was caught up, I could have continued it and watched it and liked it, but because they just lied to me with the market, I feel salty about that. Salty enough to put it down to a C, but I don't even know, man. I'll leave it at a B. You can go fuck hell. I'm disappointed in the company that decided that. This was like some weird dumb Transformers thing. I don't give a fuck. I don't even remember the name of it. Digimon Adventure. The like reboot of the original Digimon. It was nice for the first episode. And then it got delayed to hell. And I couldn't watch more of it. And then it started continuing again. And I forgot it was a thing. I put it in a B for what I saw so far. It was a nice little reboot so far. Looked really, really nice. Millionaire Detective. Balance Unlimited. I was really disappointed with the first episode, but I really liked the opening. And I know it could be like a show where because he just has so much fuck you money, I could be really, really entertained with what happens later on. I was just really disappointed with how the first episode presented itself. But I know it's the kind of show where I'm gonna like the main characters, like fuck you, I have money attitude, and like how ridiculous I could get with it. So I'll put in a B for billionaire. How something, this like spirit like takes over this, I think it was like this person moves into this house and it's haunted by spirits. And I think there was some stuff I thought was funny. Most of it I didn't care for. I give it an F. There's like shorts, so at least I had that going. D4DJ. This one reminded me a lot of the Hip Mike anime that was airing, but it was kind of similar to Standalone Complex 2045, where it had like PS2 3D CG graphics, and the difference here was it was instead of like boy bands. It was like girl DJ duos or girl DJ groups. I don't know how you do like a group of girl DJs. I think it's like one sings and the other is like the DJ for the music. But like that would probably just be two, right? That would just be two? I don't know. I think there was supposed to be like 4 to each group. I'm not really sure how 4 would work for this, but I guess I would know in episode 2, but I didn't get that far, so. I think I liked how they did with the 3D CG though. And I liked the characters in it. And I was digging the music that they were showing off so far. So I'd give it a B. Realistically, don't know if I would keep watching it though. Don't know if I would care to keep watching it. But I'm not sure. Uzaki-chan. Probably give it a B. I know this one had a lot of controversy. Honestly though, it was a pretty fucking mid-show. It had a lot of controversy because of her design on like Twitter and shit. Everybody was arguing about that. I just couldn't understand why everybody was screaming about this show that I was like, it's alright. It's got like some good jokes. It's like Uzaki-chan wants to hang out with this boy and she's got the biggins. If you know what they mean, you know. She's got the biggins and they're in college and she's just hanging out. She's cute and they're having a good time together. She's bullying him for like various things and he's just kind of annoyed by her. But they have like some nice moments together. They have nice chemistry. But the show is not like anything beyond that. That premise gets kind of annoying really quickly, as it should be, given the premise is to be annoying. And it doesn't really do much more. So it's a very mid-show that everybody got heated about on the internet. And they made it way worse than it ever had to be. Extra Olympia Kyklos, though, Greek sculpture, like claymation, stop motion kind of, like Greek shit posting. Ancient Greece shit posting. This and Japan Sinks was supposed to be timed for the Olympics this year, which didn't happen, which is unfortunate for them because they timed them for that. Supposed to be timed for the Olympics because they were going to have the Olympics in Japan this year. That didn't happen because pandemic happened. And Japan Sinks was like supposed to be the earthquake happens as the Olympics happen. This was supposed to be like ancient Greece, like, you know, they're pretty much founding the Olympics and like inventing the sports in his timeline. Then he's randomly transporting into like modern Japan for no reason. It's like a really silly shit posty kind of shorts. It's a fun time. I'd recommend checking it out. Tower of God. B. I was so hyped for this at the very beginning. It is a visually great show, and it this was the beginning of webtoons getting animes, which I was excited for. And then I learned that they like to ruin the pacing for these webtoons in the anime form. So the whole thing about these webtoons is a lot of webtoons or manhwa, whatever you want to say, the Korean like comics that these are based on. The whole point of them, with a lot of them, is there's a lot of build-up towards things. But in the anime, they just want to show off all the cool shit already, right away. Just jump right to it. No explanation. But the problem is we're just skipping all the build-up for it. So we have like this pacing that's like insanely fast. Insane levels of like speed. And you have like these nice characters and you got this interesting like climbing the tower like message and setup. But the world building is like happening at like rapid speed as opposed to the pacing it's supposed to be, which is like more slower, more explained, more like in depth, instead of like just showing it for like one frame and then explaining it away with like one line of dialogue. Like And at first I was like, okay, I'm fine with it because it's supposed to be the premise of all your answers are going to be explained as you climb up the tower, so it's going to build itself up like that. But it's not really. It's just kind of saying that as an excuse to just not expand on things. It's like, it's not awful. It's just I wish that they would slow down. So, by the grace of the gods, dude gets isekai and he just raises slimes, and he has a chill little slice of life time, and I would give it probably a C. Yeah, give it a C. Anyway, it's fine. Not nearly as good as it could have been. Could have been great. Not just fine. Yeah, that's how I felt. I was like so disappointed with that. 3 webtoon adaptations are all trash. Well, we're going to go over that now, too. I was very disappointed with the webtoon adaptation so far, like, just with how they're executed. Noblesse. This was the worst of the webtoons. This was the absolute worst. How the fuck? This was so fucking bad. The worst one. And I heard so many people were really hyped for this webtoon, too. This is the worst anime webtoon adaptation of them all. Edgy vampire boy in like a high school, and I was thinking, okay, so it's gonna be a funny thing where like this vampire guy is trying to like blend in at a high school. No, there's like some weird government like thing going on where they're trying to hunt them, or they're like trying to fight some like secret conspiracy things at the same time. There's like other experiments of things too, but like he's still going to high school even though he's like 500 years old, vampire thing or something. I didn't care for any of it. It didn't have anything that appealed to me at all in any way, shape, or form. I was so fucking bored. God of High School is another thing I'd give a B. It's another one of the things, just like Tower of God, where it's got a super hype premise, has a really nice visual style, really stands out. These were like supposed to be the two giants, be like the starting points of the webtoon animes. And it was funny because both of them had the word God in them or whatever. Okay, that's a funny thing. God of High School was supposed to be basically a tournament arc anime. And tournament arcs I actually kind of like. So I was hyped for it, and we had a very nice style going on with it. With these interesting characters, and the first episode is really like fast-paced, but in a good way with it to like introduce the cast and get them going with the tournament and get things rolling with it. And it was a nice little balance of comedy with like the awesome action and animation. The first episode was really strong, and then after that we just skip through things. Like literally the end of the first episode, they're like getting ready to go into like this final fight against this big guy for like the first preliminary battle of the tournament. It goes to like a to be continued thing, like a cliffhanger. Beginning of the second episode, they're already done with the fight. They're just walking home after the fact. And then they do a flashback for like 2 frames of what happened at the end of the fight. Why couldn't you show me it? I would like to have seen that. I would like to have seen that in depth. That would have been nice. And then we get into like a marriage arc with the girl there. And the thing that I heard, because I hadn't read the webtoon of that, but I had heard that arc was supposed to be expanded way further. It was supposed to be way more revealed with that. But again, they did the thing where, you know, with these webtoon adaptations, they're just like, yeah, we're gonna blast through all that. This like big arc that was supposed to be like a whole thing, it's just gonna be like half an episode. Or like an episode. We're just gonna get it all done through that. And it's like, why though? Why do you have to do it like that? Like, do you have to like fit it like that? Is this supposed to be? Because I didn't finish the show yet. I think I was like 5 or 6 episodes in. Is this first season supposed to be it? Was it the first season supposed to cover the whole thing, or is there supposed to be a second season? Because like at the pace that they're going, it feels like you're just gonna blast through this fucking tournament like before the show is even halfway done. Like Jesus. What was this? I'm trying to remember based on the photo. Was this MWZ? No, MWZ was here. I can already just blast this one out of the way. Fucking awful. We're in like a fantasy world deal. Was that? No, we weren't in a fantasy world deal. It was, we're in like some prohibition kind of time. And we have guns. Guns are things, but cops just choose to fight with swords anyways, because fuck it. It's just fucking dumb. You're in a world with guns. Why aren't you using guns? You're just fighting with swords just for no reason, just to look cool. You just slash the bullet out of the way in the air because anime. Fuck off. I'm standing on a million lives. Bootleg Konosuba vibes. Had some fun moments. I'd give it a D. Soul Levante was like a 60 FPS anime Netflix original short thing. I didn't... It was supposed to be like some super like high tier visual thing. I guess it looked nice. I don't remember anything about it, but it had no dialogue. It was all a visual thing. I still don't remember what this one is. What was this one? Hold on, let me look. I don't read God of High School myself, but the source material is still ongoing. Okay. So I don't know what the fuck they were doing with the anime then. I don't know why they felt like they needed to... Because it felt like with all the webtoon adaptations, they were like, yeah, we gotta... This is the first time we've ever done an anime adaptation of webtoons. We need to show the kids all the cool fights. Blast through literally everything to show pointless fight scenes. And I figured that that was what they were going to do with God of High School, because it seemed like the premise of it was supposed to be like this is a massive tournament arc, so there's going to be a lot of fight scenes for these different arcs in the tournament. And then they literally will just skip past the fight ever happening and then show you like a flashback of like 2 frames of the fight happening. I was like, what the fuck? The soundtrack for that was pretty dope, though. I will say that. Was it something that aired this season? Warlords of Sigridra. Okay, I remember now. I'd give it, I don't know, a D? Alright, this one was like a 47-minute first episode. And it's fighter pilot waifus that are like Valkyries. So I guess to fight some like alien force in the future, the god Odin granted like certain women in the world these like his superpowers to like be really good at fighter planes, like piloting fighting planes, I guess. And you follow this one girl who's like the main girl, and she gets reassigned to like a station in Japan because every squadron she's in before, everybody in her squad dies except for her, no matter what with the missions. Usually the missions are a success, but everybody on the mission with her dies. So she joins up with a new crew of all the other waifu girls, and surprise surprise, they don't die on their first mission with her. They survive and they become close waifus, but the waifus are cute, everything else about it bored to shit. I don't care about fighter pilots at all. I don't care about like plane fights. That's not my thing, so D. With a dog and a cat, every day is fun. Oh boy. B or A? This was 1 minute or 3 minute shorts. It was a shorts where you follow an owner and their life with their pet dog and their pet cat, and the dog and the cat have the different personalities, with the dog being like cheerful, playful, like always like wants your attention, and the cat's just like, you need to feed me now, human. Why have you not fed me now, human? What is wrong with you? I hate everything about you. I will make your life miserable. Like, you know, you got those kind of clashing vibes, and it's got really, really funny gags that go along with that. It's relatable. You own a cat, you own a dog, or you want to know what it's hashtag relatable like to own a cat or a dog, go check out With a Dog and a Cat Every Day is Fun. The one with the crow, yes, that is Sing Yesterday for Me, which I put in A, but I've only seen the first episode of. But based on that first episode, I really loved it. Sing Yesterday for Me, that's the one with the crow. Let me take a drink of water for a sec here. We're almost done. Look at this. Talentless Nana. It's Among Us, the anime, and it's really, really interesting. A lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be. A lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be from the beginning. From the beginning, it felt like a bootleg, like kind of My Hero Academia thing, where you got all these psychics in a school together. Instead of like different superpowers, it's just like psychic powers. But it turns out there's like some beast among them, or like some enemy among them that could, or there's some enemy that they have that could potentially already be among the students there that's trying to kill them. And I'm not going to spoil things. It's a big reveal at the end of the first episode. But you got this one character who's the boy who has no talent, has no actual psychic talent. And then you got new girl comes in who can read minds but is bad at reading the room. And it's funny, shenanigans ensue, and then a fucked up twist happens, and it changes everything about the show, and it makes it way 1,000 times more interesting, and I can't wait. I can't wait to check out more. It's still on my list to watch this season. Right here. There it is. Sports climbing girls. The girls who look really boring, they climb walls. Why did I ever scroll up? This is going down here. You want to know what really pissed me off about this? This girl who's never climbed a wall before is a natural at it because she was a, quote, hardcore gamer before, so she can puzzle out the best route to get to the end. On the wall climbing. Yeah. What was this one? I don't remember the name, but it was like demon army showing up, and these dark elves are there trying to overthrow the place. The place is very racist to dark elves. The dark elves are just trying to be there, it seems like at first, but it turns out they are just trying to overthrow them, so it's kind of fucking awkward. But the day I became a god. Oh boy. Really, really fun. I was debating whether to put it in S because it's probably my favorite this season. Literal, like, waifu girl Odin shows up and says, yeah, the world's gonna end in 30 days, but I'm bored, so I'm just gonna hang out with you. And he doesn't believe her. He thinks she's just crazy, but then she, like, shows him by, like, predicting, like, horse races. And it's a very funny show where she's just like, all right, because I'm bored, I'm going to help you get with this the girl you like. Because she's like friend zoning you. I'm going to see if I can get you with the girl you like. And I don't know if that's going to be the whole show, but it seems like that's what it's going to be based on the first episode. Where the world's going to end. She's just kind of bored. She's just going to try to like be this dude's wingman for like no reason. I feel like there's supposed to be some other stuff with it where all of them and like all the side characters are like related to or are gods. I feel like it's gonna be something like that. Especially with the title "The Day I Became a God." Feels like something like that, but Capybara-san. It's nice little cute anime. 1 minute shorts, or I don't know if it was. I think it was a minute, but cute little capybara. And he's just vibing. That's it. That was the whole show. Yokozawa tried kowtowing. Dude in first person is begging women to take off their clothes. That's the premise. That's the premise. This one is actually the only one on here that's going to be on my didn't watch. I made this tier list before I finished watching everything from this season, and this was one of them. I couldn't find this anywhere. This is on no website. This is like some Mecha Power Rangers looking thing. Couldn't find it anywhere. This is the only one that's going to be on my didn't watch, because I physically couldn't find it anywhere. And gymnastics samurai, I'd give it a B. Dude is a gymnast about to retire, trying to find a way to tell his daughter that he's gonna retire. Then he meets some like ninja. Was it called gymnastic ninja, or was it like gymnastic samurai or something like that? He meets like some ninja who's like hiding from the government. It looks like they're gonna have a wacky adventure. I'm concerned it's just gonna be gymnastics, and I'm bored as shit with the gymnastics side of this. It looks really nice. I hope they have a wacky adventure instead of gymnastics, but I don't know. We'll find out. Only watched one episode. I don't hate it. That's the bottleneck. Weird little shorts with like kind of like horror mystery kind of aesthetic to it, of a convenience store and this dude who doesn't have a head. It's got some weird stuff to it. It's got some interesting identity messages with it. That's nice. 22/7. This is the full-on anime. I watched the 1 minute shorts before the full-on anime. I watched a couple episodes of the full-on anime. I liked it. I wasn't a massive fan, but I liked it. And then Hatena Illusion. It's like magician stuff. Like magician waifu, magician boy. It felt like they were like childhood friends before or something, and now they're reuniting to like learn, and shenanigans ensue, I think was it. Well, yeah. Alright, let me make some adjustments here. Make some adjustments with some of these. Okay. Okay, if I look at this and I say I hated it, then it goes into F. Actually, no. Okay, no, I think these are fine, but any that are down here that I would bump up? I hate. No, never mind. I guess this is good. Would I bump any of these up to C? Maybe I'm standing on a million lives. I put to C. Maybe. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. I'll leave that at C. No, I won't. Fuck it. Alright. Anything I'd take C and demote or promote. The fishing one? It was trying. This show was trying. It was a nice, cute thing. It was trying. It just wasn't something. It wasn't a hobby that interested me. Fishing is not something that interested me, so I didn't hate it. I'd leave it at C, just because it wasn't my thing. Koisudu Asteroid I might bump up, though. Nah, I'd leave it there. Everything else I would leave here. I might demote some of these. Richard Jeweler. Shiraneko. Actually, no. Alright, this is tough. Okay, the one that I definitely don't want to look at is here. Because I was hesitant to put any of the stuff I would put in A that I think is really good into S, just because I haven't watched everything about it yet. There's always potential with anime that the last episodes could be shit. But now that I've placed everything where I think it should be, I can go back here and I'm going to rank it based on just how I felt about the first episode. Or the whatever episodes I watched. Jujutsu Kaisen is a fun time. I'm really enjoying watching it. Don't know if it's enough to put it at an S. Burn the Witch might be an S for me. Burn the Witch might be an S. The Day I Became a God. Akudama Drive, I want it to be an S, but the anime, I've watched all the episodes of it currently, it's not really an S. I leave it an A. Honestly, it leans kind of towards a B to me. Okay, based on the first episodes, or the episodes I've seen, ReZero is an S? Potentially. Really good stuff, but Gallon Dino I'd probably put in an S. That's a high tier show for me. Kaguya-sama? Yeah, sure. Daddy, daddy do, as they say. And I think, okay, I think I would leave the rest of these here for now. Maybe I'd bump up whatever. I'd bump that one up. 1, 2. There's like 3 shows at S's that I've seen for this season, though. That'd be pretty biased. Hold on, I gotta make adjustments here. I'd leave Burn the Witch. I can tell those are biased ones. I gotta, like, pull that back. Pull it back. Okay. Be objective with my thoughts about this, or try to be as unbiased as it can be with my thoughts about this, okay? Because Akudama Drive, I understand, is good, but not enough to be an S. Because it has a lot of things about it that definitely aren't great. Jujutsu Kaisen is a fun time, but there's definitely times where it's just kind of a little too silly for its own good. Rental Girlfriend has weird balancing issues with its comedy and serious sides, doesn't know how to properly balance it. Extra Olympia Kaiklos, good shit post. I can't honestly bring it to an S though. It's nice shit post, but it's not like... Talentless Nana had a nice twist towards the end of the first episode. Most of the beginning of it though, I was kind of bored, but I was glad with the twist at the end that made me way more interested in it. But because of that beginning part and my concerns with, you know, it could be interesting later, but I have no idea, so I can't put that into an S. I can't. Wandering Witch had a lot of really important messages, and I've heard that it continues being that good. I feel like it could, But I don't know. I don't know. It's tough. This is tough. What do I give an S? Dorohedoro? I don't really know if Dorohedoro gets to an S for me. ReZero? I don't even know. Oh, no. Alright, I'm trying to think it out more. I think I would make Jujutsu Kaisen an S. I'm trying to... No, what am I doing? I don't need to have S's. I don't need to have more S's, okay? I can just accept that this is a mediocre year because a pandemic happened, okay? I can accept that there's like only 4 that I really, really like, okay? Gallon Dino is not an S. I should take that out, okay? I gotta be real with myself here, alright. Okay, I think this is it. I think this is the list. This is it. We've been here for almost 3.5 hours now, and I've done it. I've cracked the code. It is like 3 a.m. I don't know how people are still on the stream. You guys are here, though. I appreciate you so much. Some of you are going to hate my opinions on these things. I think, because this is my first year doing this kind of thing, and the thing that I can already tell is I spent way too much time just literally trying to remember the plot of all of these shows and just stating them out. Maybe next year I won't do that. Maybe next year I'll just go based on what I remember. I don't have to explain it all for you guys, but maybe I'll just remember the title, and then after that I could just rank it. And if it's something I feel like I have something important to say, I can just do that. But this took way longer than I expected, but you know, we got through it in the end. We got through it. We got through it eventually. And that's it. That's the show. I don't really know what else to do here. But I guess we'll just get right to end the show. Thank you so much, everybody, for showing up, coming around, hanging out. My first ever YouTube stream here, because I usually stream on Twitch every Sunday. We do anime night stream. We're talking about the stuff we currently watched, and we go over every single new anime game that's come out on Steam. That's what we do on there. This is my 19th video of this year. There's one more video I want to do before this year ends. It's going to be me going through all of my old content here on the channel for the past year. Another kind of year in review. This was an anime year in review. Next is going to be my own inner year in review. We're going to review my own content this year. How it's progressed, where I see things going, what I can improve. And then we'll wrap up the year with that. And then we'll get ready for 2021. ReZero was too dark for you? Ooh, I don't know. Maybe it... The couple episodes I'd watched of it, yeah, I guess pretty dark. Of the new season. The first season of ReZero is really, really good. I can't tell exactly how much darker the second season gets yet. I don't know how far you got into it. There's a really, really good episode. I think it was the last episode I watched too, though. Or maybe it was like the one before, where they explore Subaru's past more. And that was really interesting. That was super cool. I don't know how dark it gets past that, but I know that's a show where like sometimes it can get pretty fucked with like what's going on, but yes, I will sleep, Emma. Thank you so much for showing up to the stream. It really means a lot that I actually had people that showed up for this. I don't know where you all came from. I don't know if you people were already subscribed to me, or if you found me on YouTube already, or if any of you guys came from Kennedy's link. I appreciate all of you, no matter how you got here. Hope you had a fun time. Maybe I'll do some more YouTube streams in the future. I don't know yet. Now I'm going to end the stream and see if YouTube gets mad at me for all the music I played in the background. Hopefully it won't. But we'll see. If they do, I'm just going to have to edit the stream, and I can do that. I record it in a way that I can just edit out the music easily, so. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.